Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and assorted people of the internet. I'm James Phoenix, and this is another episode here on Pez of the Mind.
Okay, Captain Kirk.
Of the Mind. Well, this is not an episode. This is a review, as you can see from the title up there. This is my review of Connecticon 2016. It just ended. Today is, of course, July 11th. So today, Sunday the 11th, was the final day of Connecticon in 2016. And I want to talk about it. So I have a channel, and I'm going to do it. Pretty straightforward. Over there to listen to my assorted ramblings is Marcus Shadow.
What's up, people of the internet?
As you can see, he is both in shadowed and simultaneously from the front showing you the light. So, I apologize, this is a little long. Just saying that FYI. So I'm going to go over a variety of things involved here. And we'll go from there. So for those of you who don't know anything about Connecticon, brief backstory. The Connecticon convention was founded back in 2003 by some college students in the Connecticut area. They thought it would be fun to have a NerdCon in the Northeast area, as there was a general lack of a large overall NerdCon. And so they set about creating one, and it started very small, and it grew and grew each year. They initially hosted it at their college. I do not remember which college it is off the top of my head, but you can go to Connecticon.com and read the backstory in their little About Us section. And it grew and grew, and to the point that today, 13 years later, Connecticon has annually over 12,000 guests. And has been since moved to the very large Connecticut Convention Center in Hartford, Connecticut, attached to the downtown Hartford Marriott. Well, sorry, computer doing weird things. Anyway, so this was the first con I ever went to. I've never gone to any conventions before, so I was kind of a convention newbie for this. I went with a couple of friends of mine.
Sheltered boy.
Pretty much. I went with a couple of friends of mine who had been to this particular convention before and kind of knew the ropes, so I wasn't completely being thrown to the fishes, as it were. And I had a great time. If you're in the Northeast area and you're looking for a con to go to Connecticon. It's every July. It's just so much fun. The next one, they've already said, is going to be. Yes, I don't want that. Go away. No, stop. Sorry. I'm just looking at the calendar on my phone. Apologies. But it is going. Next year's is going to be. Scroll up to next July 17. The con is going to run from July 6th to July 9th next year. If you are interested, you can actually, very special until tomorrow night. Actually, the end of Monday, the 12th, you can actually, or Monday the 11th rather, you can actually get yourself Connecticon tickets early for just $50 for an all-weekend pass right now.
Would that not be today for you people on the East Coast?
It would be today for us people on the East Coast. Water.
I would say count yourself lucky that this is your first con experience.
Why is that?
Because my first con experience was for a small convention back then as BakaCon, which has grown to become SakuraCon over here in Seattle. And it was the first year they put it on. It was an anime convention. And I was stupid enough to actually volunteer to work it.
Oh!
Now, I had fun, but I wish I'd have been able to actually explore the convention and see different things. But they gave me a room, one of the exhibition room things, said, here's a box of anime, pick what you want, show it for hours. I'm like, okay. So I was in control of what the masses watched in my room.
Okay, then.
Fair enough. I wish I'd have been able to, walk around, go to the vendors, and
yes,
get some autographs and whatnot.
Okay, fair enough. Well, to be honest, after going to this con, I wouldn't mind volunteering to work at Connecticon because it was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a reason for that, which I will get to later.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, it is Connecticon. It is in Hartford, as I said, and you can get your tickets now. Or usually, starting in January, they will have tickets available at that time for early pre-reg, and that's usually when they'll release the. And so sometime probably soon they'll have the, at least for the attached Marriott, the hotel bookings, because they release those really early in advance.
Mm-hmm.
So if you, and I will recommend this, if you're going to Connecticon, you want to be at the Marriott. There are other hotels in the area. There is a Hilton, there is a Radisson, there's a Holiday Inn just across the river. But it's going to be 10 times more convenient for you if you can get into that Marriott, because everything you need is right in this facility. You can park in the garage and leave your car there for 4 days. You will not need to drive anywhere. Everything is in walking distance.
Nice.
Because there's the hotel itself. Well, I can actually, there's a convenient map in this book, actually, which I can show you. How about that?
There you go.
Well, tell you what, let me do this first, actually. Let me make an adjustment here. Hang on. Because I can just give you a little shot here. Let me do this one. Because if you take a look right over here, I give you the Hartford Convention Center. Take a look at that.
Nice.
Indeed. And the convention center is the left-hand building you're seeing, not that tall one on the right. But the left-hand building you're seeing there is
You do realize you're seeing it in reverse.
okay, on the left then.
It's the squat building on the right, not the tower on the left.
Right. Okay. Sorry. I'm saying. Let me flip the little thing so I see the images the right way. There we go. Yes, the building on the right. I took this from the crosswalk across the street. The building on the right is the convention center, and further to the right, off the shot, is the attached Marriott. They are separate buildings, but they're part of the same complex, as is the Connecticut Science Center, which is also right there. So you can always check that out if you're there too. A lot of fun.
Nice.
And I will just. You can see, give us a sec here. Let me do this and this. And there's the other side of it. To the side of where we were a minute ago. To the right.
That's the whole.
That's the rest of the building on the left side of the picture there.
The hotel.
That's the building. And as you look behind the trees, you can see the hotel and that structure. Just before you, it's that big tower. That structure is the parking garage.
That's a parking garage?
Well, look at the tower building and the building to the left of it, half behind the tree.
Oh, yeah.
That's a parking garage. There is the parking garage serves both the convention center and the Marriott Hotel.
Fair enough.
And is very large. So that's good. And I think parking generally, it was affordable. I don't know exactly what it was because I was not the one driving, but I'm told it was affordable. But anyway, if you take a look here, you can see the area has a whole, if I can get this to not be glared, a whole lot of things.
Glared as fuck.
Yeah, wrong way. I am reversed. Here we go. You can see there's all kinds of things here. This over by my hand over here, this is the convention center here in the corner. The Science Center is over here. This is the Marriott over in between them here. And this is the parking garage over here, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And as you can see, there is restaurants over here, several of them. There is a movie theater right here, the Spotlight Theater, which has a restaurant in it, the Front Street Bistro where we ate, and I'll talk about that later. And then as you can see, all the red indicators here are restaurants and bars, and the blue ones are the other hotels. There's a Homewood over here. There is the Hilton right by my finger here. And then over here, you can see the, this way, up here is the Radisson, and there is a Holiday Inn that's across. This is the river, the Connecticut River, right over here.
Fair enough.
So everything is within easy walking distance, and there's a lot of great restaurants. Given that this has become so big and going on for so long, all the restaurants in the surrounding area are familiar with Connecticon, and they all have special Connecticon menus and deals going on. So basically, wear your Connecticon badge around at all times. And you will get Connecticon menus and other such useful things at the various restaurants.
Hey, now everyone knows your real name.
No, I forgot that was on there. I'll blur that later.
Unless people are watching live, then oh shit.
Well, we have 0 viewers, so it's not a problem.
Okay, there we go.
But yes, go to the Connecticon. And that's you will get this pass, and I'll talk about the pass in a minute. But it's a wonderful area. Everything's in walking distance, so don't if you can get into that Marriott, it's going to make your experience a lot easier. There is a shuttle that runs every 15 minutes around all the local hotels and areas, so it's not a complete loss if you end up at one of the other hotels, but it is significantly more of a pain in the ass. So I would advise, if at all possible, get into that Marriott. Also, because that Marriott is also where all the guests are staying, all of the the celebrities that are there are staying. So if you are at that Marriott, you're more likely to, outside of panels, run into celebrities randomly. So that's fun. Gotta love that.
As you did.
I am just being, hang on. There we go. Okay. Had to turn myself back around. I was swapped. Anyway. So
you realize you're going to keep doing that every time you put up an image, right?
I know. I don't care. I'll make it work. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and kick off with, I'm just going to go through my general experience, the things that I went to, what I saw, how I felt. One thing I will cover at the beginning here real quick. One of the greatest things that I felt about this convention, and I'm sure a lot of conventions are this way, but I having never been to one, this was new to me, was the convention atmosphere, the convention environment. Being in a place where you're surrounded by like-minded people, people who are nerds, who have fandoms, who understand this kind of thing, people who are all, and this is particularly important with all the current events and things that go on, people who, everyone is generally, being kind to each other, treating each other with respect. Nobody is being, discriminated against or anything. I mean, they had, no matter who you were, what cosplay you had, anything, everybody was treating each other very respectfully. They even had all gender restrooms to cater to the transgender audience, which I thought was very cool. Nice. And they're very open and accepting of everybody at this con, and I'm sure at a lot of cons. And that's an environment you just don't get out in the real world. So it's kind of a special experience to be in that kind of environment where that any random person you happen to walk across in the hallway, you can strike up a conversation, and they're probably going to be more than happy to talk to you. And just being able to meet people and just do all this stuff, it's a great, great environment. If you are a nerd, if you love fandoms, cons are the place to go to meet like-minded people, to enjoy things, to get away from the world and be in a place where you will belong. And it really, overall, it really struck me. And that was the biggest thing I think I took away from the weekend, was just the environment of being in this place with these people.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
That really,
it's a very social experience.
Yeah. So definitely be prepared for that. One thing I did lax on a little bit, I will say, if you get an opportunity, most people in cosplay are more than happy to pose for photos if you politely ask them. I'm the kind of person that doesn't like to go up and randomly ask you over things, so I didn't get a lot of cosplay photos, but there were a lot of great cosplays.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. If you see a cosplayer, don't hesitate to ask. And most people, if they're willing to take a photo, they're also willing to take requests for poses. They'll pose as the character the way you want for your photo, usually. Yeah,
usually they're pretty good. I mean, top cosplay, just quick off the top of my head, some top cosplays I did see. Well, of course, I will mention, and I have a picture of this one that I will do have one picture I'll show later, is I did get to spend a little bit of time with our old friend, the Passing Through Reviewer, who was at the con.
Oh, was he?
He was. I thought I mentioned that.
You did not.
Yes, the Passing Through Reviewer was there.
So, which morph suit was he wearing?
Omega Ranger.
Oh, okay, so he's wearing the original. Fair enough.
That's not his original.
That's his original name.
No, it's not. He just got that.
Oh, he just got the suit.
Yeah, his original is Samurai Shinken Green, and then after that he got Gokai Silver. Now he has Omega Ranger, and he has the helmet for, but is waiting for the suit for Dino Charge Red.
Fair enough.
I think he said he had another one that he mentioned too. I don't remember what it was. He's got 5. Anyway,
fair enough.
There's a picture of that later. We'll get there.
He's a full team unto himself.
Basically. I'll get to that, but I did see him. Other great cosplays that jumped out at me over the course of the weekend. Let's see what's some good ones. One that I saw a few times. There was a Miss Frizzle from the Magic School Bus. She had a great costume. I like that. There was a guy who had literally I couldn't count how many balloons, tied countless balloons together to make a giant Baymax that he was walking around in.
Nice.
Which was pretty awesome. Not the only inflated Baymax I saw, but his looked the coolest in my opinion. There were things
you need to show that to Richter.
What's that?
You need to show that to Richter.
Like I said, I saw them. I didn't get pictures of them.
Aww.
Yeah, but I'm sure they're on the internet somewhere. We'll look later. But I saw that, the Miss Frizzle. There was some of the usuals you would expect. A lot of assorted superheroes, Supermans, Batmans. I saw about a half a dozen different Deadpools.
I'm sure there was various Power Rangers walking around aside from the passing through reviewer.
Honestly, not many Power Rangers. I saw a couple of I saw one guy in a Red Ranger suit. I saw one girl who was in a Pink Ranger with a skirt thing going on. There was a couple, but not as many as you would think. I was a bit surprised. Like I said, the most prevalent cosplay seemed to be a lot of Deadpools. There were a lot of. I saw a wide variety of Marios and Mario Brothers. There were a lot of those. A wide variety of those. I saw regular Marios. I saw Flower Marios. I saw one guy as the Mario from the cover of the Mario Maker box in the yellow and red.
Nice.
There was. I saw a pair of Sith Mario Brothers.
What?
Yeah, there were Sith Mario Brothers.
Okay, then.
Yeah, they were the Marios of Sith Lords. It was cool.
Well, one had a red saber, one had a green saber.
I think their sabers were both clear, but they were wearing Sith robes over the Mario overalls and shirts.
Okay, then.
Yeah, but they were Sith Mario Brothers. There were also two girls, one of which was on a panel I mentioned, who were dressed up as the Mario Brothers also. There was a lot. What did we get? I saw about 3 nostalgia critics. That's to be expected. There was some Kylo Ren's, the Star Wars people. At least one person was an Ewok.
Nice.
There was a giant Pikachu walking around. I saw a few Ash Ketchums, some Misties. A lot of the ones you might expect. A lot of Batman villains, a lot of Jokers, Riddlers, Penguins. They were all over the place.
Of different variants.
Yeah, different variants. I'm going to give my props to 2 guys that I saw near the Tom Kenny panel. I'm going to give my props to Joker Ronald McDonald and the Hamburglar Riddler. That was pretty cool. I like that.
Wow.
That was pretty badass. Yeah, just all kinds of great cosplays all over the place. I saw some people as Bob's Burgers. The family from Bob's Burgers were around. A lot of anime characters that I didn't recognize. I don't watch anime, but there were so many anime people. That's some Disney characters, some Aladdin's, Jasmine's. There was the Genie, a couple of Tinkerbells, Peter Pans, some Robin Hoods. Again, more superheroes, Green Arrows, Flashes. They were all there. A lot of great cosplays all around. Very impressed by the effort that went into a lot of them. There were 2 guys walking around as Bernie Sanders and Donald Trump. They were debating each other. I didn't see the Donald Trump guy first, but later I saw the Bernie Sanders guy again, and the Trump guy was with him. The Bernie Sanders guy actually had the hair and everything on. The Donald Trump guy just had a mask on. But I did at one point pass the Bernie Sanders guy talking to his people in the hallway. He was demanding anime for the middle class. That was a lot of fun.
Nice.
Yeah, so many wonderful cosplays of all kinds of variants. I saw a lot of Steven Universe people, Adventure Time people. They were all there. Just all some ponies, a couple of ponies. One girl did a really good Starfire from Teen Titans. I liked hers.
Nice.
That was a great costume.
Cartoon Starfire or comic Starfire?
It looked like cartoon Starfire,
Hello, friends.
something like that. Yeah, there was that. There was what else? We were waiting for one of the panels. We sat next to Steampunk Beauty and the Beast. They were cool.
Nice.
If you're out there, thank you, Steampunk Beauty and the Beast, for letting us sit next to you, waiting for the panel that I will mention later. That was a lot of fun. A lot of avatars, Kataras, Sokkas, Tophs, one or two Zuko's.
No Angs, huh?
Didn't really see any Aangs. I really didn't. And there didn't be a lack of Aangs. Everybody was going with the other characters.
How do you cosplay Avatar and not play as the Avatar?
Because bald caps are hard to get a hold of.
Yeah.
Speaking of bald people, I did see a whole bunch of Saitamas.
Any Dragon Ball?
What's that?
Is there any Dragon Ball cosplays?
Yeah, there were some Dragon Ball people. I saw one guy with the one guy, he had the Vegeta eyepiece going on.
Nice.
And it's a Vegeta costume. That was pretty good. A couple of Gokus. Not a lot of Dragon Ball. Good things like that. It was a funny moment in one of the panels. There was one girl who was going around as the Ghostbusters logo. She had a big red cross. She had a ghost costume on. It was pretty cool.
Was it the one from the movie with the bow tie?
Didn't look like a bow tie. No, just white ghost and the cross. Yeah.
And the cross. The actual logo. Fair enough.
Yeah, the actual logo. So that was cool. Yeah, I can't even just think of how many just great cosplays there were. It's everything imaginable, you know, steampunk and just everything you think of. It was just so amazing to see all these costumes just everywhere. Just such good stuff. I saw some Laura Cross and some Nathan Drakes.
Nice.
They were there. They were pretty good. Yeah, I'm trying to think the really good ones. Because the Baymax, there was a guy dressed as Carl from the Disney movie Up, the Pixar movie Up. That was nice. There was just a lot of great cosplays that were just so good. There was a group of young ladies walking around as the Disney princesses with full big poofy dresses, the whole 9 yards, looked very much like the princesses.
Nice.
That was pretty. I can imagine how frustrating that was to move those around, but they looked really good. So many people just put so much effort into their costumes. I mean, it's just amazing.
Oh yeah.
But enough about cosplay. We'll get back to that. So I'm gonna get into my events of the con, and we'll go from there. And I'll talk about things as they come up. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
My list here. Okay. So as I mentioned, the Hotel and Convention Center is beautiful. I will I'll show off some more pictures first. Let's do that. Let's see. Photos of the Convention Center. Not those ones. Where's the other photos of the Convention Center? Okay, come on. Where's the other photos I took? Oh, here we go. This one. That's the one I want. So check this out. This is just an overarching shot of inside the Convention Center.
You have to give it a chance to load. There it is.
Okay. This is an overarching shot of the Convention Center as I'm coming down one of the escalators. They have escalators going up either side for the benefit of getting from floor to floor. The base floor
is that a Scarlet Witch cosplayer?
Looks like it, yeah.
The bottom, yeah. Nice. Yeah, all you people, you're on the internet now.
In all fairness, a lot of them are probably all on the internet anyway. Not like you can identify anybody.
True.
That's why I try to take it from the top of the escalator. But on this convention center, there's escalators on either side. One that I'm in the process of coming down, taking the shot. Another one you can kind of see some people going up on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
The bottom floor down there where everybody's standing, that's the doors are on the left there. On the right is underneath is the entrance to the dealer's room. That's where all the signatory guests were, the internet guests, the dealers.
On the left.
On the right, the picture's reversed. On the left. Hang on, is that the right way now?
I don't know. I can't see your screen. Also, the picture keeps going in and out of focus.
That's weird. I don't know why.
Yeah, it's all blurry and shit.
But yes, I'm. Oh, that's right, because I did take this from the right side of the fence and not the left. I forgot which side I took this from. Yeah, this is the correct side. Okay. So on the left there is the dealer's room is under there, the signatory guests. The gaming is in there, gamers room. They had video games all set up with TVs and everything, computer games, things like that. They had DDR going on, all kinds of stuff in there.
I wish this would quit going in and out of focus.
Just a lot of fun going on there. So a lot of great stuff happening there. The floor you can see there, the second floor there, that's really not much there. That's just kind of where there's some offices and things. And then there is another floor, the next floor higher up is where all of the ballrooms, the panel rooms, and everything were located up there. And then back over at the Marriott, I didn't get a shot of it, but back over at the Marriott, on the second floor of the Marriott, was the gaming, the board gaming and tabletop gaming room, where they had just tons of board games. I'll talk about that in a minute.
Fair enough.
And just to get this one out of the way, I might as well show this one too. Let me fire this one up. Back over to the image. Give that a minute to load for you.
Okay. That's supposed to be an anime character, the big floppy hat.
I don't know. Like I said, I'm not concerned with any people in this picture. I'm saying this is kind of the con hallway looked like. You can see that each the rooms are numbered the way they have it set up, but they the rooms can all be each individual, or the walls can be pulled down and rooms can be made larger out of several rooms.
Hey, that's a Spock on the left.
Where?
The guy holding the baton. He's wearing a Starfleet uniform.
Fair enough.
And he's got the haircut. He's not doesn't have the pointy ears, but the haircut, I'm assuming he's supposed to be Spock.
I don't know. But anyway. Stop analyzing the cosplayers.
I'm sorry. I'm just sitting here looking at the images while you're talking, and I'm seeing shit.
Well, don't look at them. Look on the right side of the image where the signs are.
Kraken.
Yeah, the rooms were named after beings. This side had Kraken, Dragon, and Goliath. The other side had I have there's a guide here. I know Phoenix room because that was my favorite room.
No, of course it was.
I got to go to one event in there, so that was neat. But yeah, the rooms on the right side were Boggart, Mech, Neko, Phoenix, Salamander, and Unicorn.
What was that, the Harry Potter wing?
No, just assorted was named after assorted creatures. It was easier to identify rooms by giving them names like that rather than numbering them, so they did that to make it easier.
Fair enough. Also, really quick, female Dante.
Okay.
And the white hair. That's Dante.
Anyway. But that's kind of what the convention halls look like. That's the left one. The one on the right was the same with more rooms. And that was kind of the setup of the convention area. I got a couple of shots at the center because I wanted to show it off.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone out there that got caught in one of those photos and you're watching this and you don't want to be in the photo, just leave a comment on the video telling me who you are, what photo you're in. I will blur you out or remove the photo. Don't want anybody to be upset.
Yes, they don't want to be in the photo, so they're going to point out in a public comment section who they are.
You can send a comment to the YouTube channel as well. And if you want, I will delete your comment after I blur the photo if anybody's concerned.
There you go.
You know, I don't want to, I don't want to cause anybody a problem here. I know it's, I wasn't taking pictures of anybody specifically. I was just trying to get large, rooms so that I avoided anybody being specifically identifiable. I was just trying to show off the building itself. I wasn't trying to show off anybody in it.
Fair enough.
So just for that, right? Anyway, so that's the pictures of the center. So let's get to what happened, because this is already starting to get long. That's not good. So I was there all 4 days. This is another recommendation I will give. If you're going, go all 4 days. Worth it.
If you have stuff you want to see on all 4 days.
Thing is, even if you don't, there's stuff to do. You'll find something to do. There's gaming rooms. There's, both video gaming and board gaming. There's dealers selling things. There's signatory guests you can check out. There's... panels to go to, events of every variety. So many events that they actually, and I will show you this. as I bring it up here. They actually, this is one of the most useful things. There is an app. I know it's hard to see because it's lit up.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. How about that? That look good? Can you see it?
I can tell that it is an app. I can't tell what it says or anything because it's all bright. Ah,
Yeah.
really bright.
All right. It is the it's an app called Gather, which Connecticon switched this year from the guidebook app to the Gather app. But you could use it. I will say this app is a piece of shit. It doesn't work very well. Connecticon people, if you're watching, switch back to guidebook. I wasn't there last year, but my friends told me guidebook is a way better app than this. But it lets you register and be a member. It'll tell you who the guests are, and you can search events by guests. You can look at the whole schedule for the times and see what's there. Unfortunately, you cannot search by room or by time. There's not limiters for that, which is unfortunate because I'm told Guidebook did have that. There is a social section where you can see people talking about Connecticon on social media. Place for a to-do list. You can put in maps of the rooms in the areas to help you find things, and a gaming schedule if you reserve any game time on any of the machines. So really helpful for tracking panels and keeping track of what's going on, but it does crash quite a bit. So just be aware of that. But very, very helpful nonetheless. When it goes into this screen, once you select it, you can see there's a list there of events. You can scroll it up, see the different events. It gives you times. You can tap them to get more info.
Handy.
Very. So, like I said, arrive early if you can, and there's a reason for this. Because one thing you're going to see if you're on the internet looking for Connecticon reviews, one thing you're going to see is all the people who decided that they didn't want to come Thursday. Thursday, as with most 3-day cons, Thursday is a pre-reg day only. There really aren't a lot of events going on per se, but everybody can show up, checked into their hotel rooms, get their. You go and pick up your badges. Badges are not mailed. You must bring your ID and your QR code from your registration email to get your badge. So you're going to want to do that. If you do it we got there on Thursday, and we were in line for maybe 20 minutes before we were able to get our badges. So, not that bad. If you look at other Connecticon reviews, people who got there Friday morning, I'm told it was a mess. There were a lot of people on the internet complaining that the line was insanely long back into the B section of the parking garage for people to register on Friday morning. So between that and trying to get checked in, I'm going to advise you, if you're going to go to this con or any others like this, you don't want to arrive Friday morning because you're going to get caught in a mess. Show up on Thursday. You're plenty early. You have plenty of time because on Thursday you can pick your badge up anywhere from 2 p.m. to 9 p.m. So you've got all the time in the world to pick your badge up. You don't have to do it right away. You can check in you can do what we did, which I'll go into, but it's much more relaxing and you're not in a rush and you're going to have a much better time.
And you'll have more time to do what you want to do.
Right. You're going to save time on Friday getting to the events you want to go to.
Yeah, but with any convention, you want to pre-register. You really, really want to pre-register.
Yes. Also, as this may well have been the first convention test bed since this came out, I'm not sure. I know it hasn't been out very long. But I will say, I don't have it because I have very little room on my phone and I didn't go through. I'm not one of the people that downloaded it. But I am told by seeing everybody else constantly walking around, talking about it, everything else, apparently Connecticon is a Pokemon Go gold mine.
Okay, then.
You don't know what Pokemon Go is, do you?
I've heard of it. It's that mobile game.
Yes. Everybody on the planet is playing it.
Okay.
Except me and you. So the people watching this are like, how are you not playing Pokemon Go? It's amazing. That's exactly what they're saying right now watching this. That's right, I see you. No,
because we have cheap cell phones that have no memory in it.
Well, that too. But but yeah, Pokemon Go, it's apparently a really cool game, and I will apparently there was a gold line of a lot of Pokemon all over the convention center, people helping each other to catch things, working together. I think everybody running Pokemon Go had a great time with it. So if you're going to a con, bring your Pokemon Go. You're probably going to be in luck. And if you happen to be in the area, and if you happen to be in the Connecticon downtown Connecticut, the Hartford Connecticut downtown Marriott, If I recall correctly, I believe what I do remember, there is a Snorlax in the lobby and a Ghastly near the elevators.
Okay then.
So check those out. So getting on to my process of the weekend to tell you what I did and my experience. Here we go. So as mentioned, we showed up on Thursday, nice and early. We got out to Hartford. I'm only a couple hours from Hartford, and we were driving out, my friends and I. So we got there at about 1:30 in the afternoon or so on Thursday. We were able to we parked in the parking garage. We were able to roll ourselves right over into the hotel, get ourselves checked in, go up to our room, and get ourselves settled in and everything else. Worked out very well. I will say, if you're using a large rolling duffel bag, you might want to be careful because I weighed it down too much and it kept going all over the place. So don't do that. First folly. But we were able to get in. We got settled in the hotel room. We got our things kind of settled in. They brought in, it was only a one-bedroom, so because I was the third wheel, they brought in an air mattress for me, which was admittedly very comfortable. And we went down, we got some room service lunch, which was delicious. I wrecked the restaurant, the Vivo restaurant at the Connecticut Hotel is excellent. So if you don't want to go anywhere, you can eat at the restaurant hotel. They do have a Connecticon menu that they offer, and there's a lot of great stuff in it. So make sure you give that a shot. You can, of course, being the restaurant hotel, put it directly on your hotel bill and pay it at the end of the weekend and not worry about it at that moment if you desire. So
That what you guys did?
That is what we did. It was just easier. So make sure to check that out. Trying to think about the restaurant in here. I'm just checking in this guidebook. No. Okay, I guess they figured people in the hotel would know. Fair enough. Anyway, enough of that. So we got settled in, and then after we settled in, we ate some food. We watched some videos on the internet, and then a couple of Channel Awesome videos. And then we went down to get our badges. Like I said, we waited in line about 20 minutes. The line was not that long. We got in. My friends who had done this before were very surprised at how short the line was. And I think it's because everybody came Friday morning, and it led to a huge mess. So, yeah. Oh, something else that went down, also as an FYI, if you're in the Hartford Downtown Marriott, or for that matter, any hotel in Connecticut, you should be aware that in the state of Connecticut, there is a state law prohibiting any kind of smoking in public buildings, including hotels. So there are very few hotels, if any, that allow smoking. The Downtown Hartford Marriott does not, and you should be aware that per their rules, that also includes vaping and e-cigs. They are not permitted at the hotel, and as I think actually happened, demonstrated, they will set off a fire alarm if you use them in their building. So don't do that. Because the first night we were there on Thursday night, at one point, there were a whole bunch of fire trucks and police outside in the street for a short time. And I could not help but notice that the next day there was a tweet on the Connecticut Twitter that you can go see, informing people of what I just said regarding e-cigs and vaping in the hotel rooms. So I can only assume that's what happened. If I'm wrong, somebody knows otherwise, correct me in the comments. Still with me?
Yep, I'm here.
Okay. So moving along, let's get to the good stuff. We picked up our badges, and on Thursday, it should be noted, Thursday is pre-reg only, so there are no panels or events on Thursday. This should be noted. There is not a lot going on the Thursday. So if you get there on Thursday, you're going to have the day to yourself. A couple of things you can do is the gaming areas are open. I know at least the board gaming room in the hotel is open. I'm not sure about the video gaming rooms in the convention center. I would assume they were open and available because there was very little required to do that. So I would assume that was available. But other than the gaming, you're not going to get much. We went to the board gaming room and we played a game of Munchkin, if you ever played that game.
Mm-hmm.
Great game. We played a game of that. I won. Which was my first time ever playing it, and I won. Go figure. I'm apparently good at that game. But yeah, so we played a round of that, and their gaming room was huge. It was the whole big ballroom on the second floor of the hotel, and they had giant shelves of hundreds and hundreds of board games, organized alphabetically. I was very impressed, to some extent or another. And you could give them your ID, and they would give you a board game, and when you turn the game back in, you get your ID back. So we played some Munchkin. That was a lot of fun, very enjoyable. The game room was very cool. Also, props, they have miniature water coolers on tables everywhere, so you can get water no matter where in the convention center or hotel you are. So that's very useful if you're someone like me who drinks a lot of water.
Mm-hmm.
So moving along, we did that. That was a lot of fun. We went to dinner down at the aforementioned Vivo restaurant in the hotel. Again, excellent food, great menu. I recommend checking it out.
Nice.
I had a BLT. It was delicious. So be sure to give that a shot when the opportunity arises. Let me see. Yeah, Vivo Seasonal Trattoria, it's called. Is the full name of the restaurant. It's right there.
Okay, then.
So they had excellent food. I recommend going there and getting some food here at the hotel at least once while you're there. So we enjoyed that. While we were at our first fun interaction of being in the hotel is we went to eat dinner there. We got sat down, and I did not pick up on this at first because I was not quite at the right angle, nor was one of my friends. My other friend was sitting at the proper angle to notice that sitting at the very next table was John Rhys Davies and his wife, presumably.
Probably.
So that was cool. We didn't say hi to him because we didn't want to interrupt his dinner, even though we did see other people saying hi to him later on. But that was cool that he was there. Always fun seeing celebrities.
Absolutely.
So we had that dinner, and then we went back up to our room and watched some TV. We actually watched the Channel 11 movie To Boldly Flee, which was fun.
Nice.
And because my friends hadn't seen it, so they enjoyed it. And then that was the end of our Friday, or Thursday rather, which was a kind of a short day because of it being, Thursday and not much going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Also, I will say room service, prompt, and they provide excellent service. They brought up a lot of little bottles of ketchup and everything that we needed to go with the lunch. Food was very good from room service, also from the VVO restaurant. So room service, very good and generally reasonable, at least during cons.
Mm-hmm.
So let's move on to Friday. Friday, there wasn't a whole lot going on in the morning that we wanted to do, so we slept a little bit late. And then we got up and we started the day with lunch. One of the other events that does go on during Connecticon that's always a lot of fun is, as I showed everyone on that map earlier, the convention center. Where is it? Help me out here. Come on. Where the heck is it? Map. Sorry, folks. Live people. Here we go. So as I mentioned, as you can see as I get the glare off the map, the convention center sits right on the Connecticut River here. And as a result of that, there is an event that goes on over in this area called a Riverfest. It is a festival that generally includes a variety of activities, not the least of which are a large variety of food trucks that are available that you can get food from. There was usually fireworks as well, but unfortunately, due to budget cuts in Hartford, they canceled the fireworks at the last minute this year. That kind of sucked, admittedly. Aside from that, we got some food at the food trucks. It was great sort of things. I got a slice of pizza from, I believe it was called Hartford Pizza or something to that effect. Pretty good pizza. They had all kinds of basket robins, all kinds of different trucks providing everything you can imagine. Fun little thing. They had some concerts, outdoor events going on. A lot of people from the con came out, cosplayers walking around, things like that. So that was really great. Saw some great cosplayers out there, as I did everywhere. So, yeah, the Riverfest is a great place to go out and spend some time outside if it's a nice day, get some food, and, get out of the humdrum of the convention center if you're looking to something a little bit different to escape a little bit, as it were. We followed this up by going to the dealer's room, where in the dealer's room was organized in such a way that when you enter the doors, all the dealers, the gaming stuff was on the far right-hand side in the other part of the room, But in the actual dealer's room proper, all the internet guests were along the left-hand wall, and the signatory guests were along the back. And then all the dealers were up and down aisles in the center. A wide variety of dealers, from stores selling trading cards and collectibles to a lot of the musical guests that were performing over the course of the weekend had booths where they were selling their music and merchandise. All kinds of good stuff was there, so that was really a lot of fun stuff. My one friend had a birthday earlier in the week, so I had given him a gift certificate to get a present at the con, so I got him a little board game that he picked up, which was cool.
Nice.
So that was good. We did that, and then we went over to our first foray over to the Channel Awesome booth, where I picked up several DVDs, including The Awesoming, Kick-Ass, and Suburban Nights, which, as you can see, the group autographed all of them.
Nice.
So that's neat. And they were very nice about it. The DVDs were only $20 each. They had pictures for $10, and the autographs were free. So that was nice. Very cool, very cool. So we walked around the dealer's room, checked things out. And then we went over to, as we were scheduling our first panel that we were going to, that we got to a little bit late to, because we weren't initially planning to go, but we decided to check it out, was the Retro Gaming Challenge from Game Show Impossible.
Okay, then.
The network Impossible is a internet network that does all kinds of things at cons and other places. They do challenges, trivia, all kinds of fun stuff like that. So if you want to go check them out, please do that.
Awesome.
Yep.
Video game stuff is always fun.
Oh, very much so. So they had a really great panel. We caught the end of it. They were doing a retro gaming challenge, which involved, basically they had retro gaming emulators running through the computer, and they had some NES controllers hooked up, and players would come up and compete in. They had cards, and people would pick a card that would determine what game they were going to play, and then another card ranging from ace through king to determine what difficulty of challenge they would have to complete within the game. Which was kind of cool. So, there might be, you have to, okay, you're going to pick Castlevania. You have to beat this boss in Castlevania. Or Batman, you have to get to the end of the level in Batman, whatever it might be. And it was a lot of fun to watch people try to get through them, and nobody succeed.
Mm-hmm. Battletoads, beat the surf level with a friend. At that point, you just put the controller down and walk away.
Someone did play Battletoads in the Turbo Tunnel.
Wow.
Yeah. They didn't succeed, but they tried. But yeah, they pulled people out of the audience, tried different things. Everybody got a little bit of candy, and the winners got rewards for winning the final two. One of them got a couple of computer games, and the winner, because the guy said, I was only going to give you one of these, but the heck with it, and so he gave him an entire case of Sturge.
Nice.
Which was pretty awesome. We actually went to that panel. It ended up being really cool. I'm glad we went. But we actually went to that panel because in that room, that was Ballroom A, the second largest room, was following it up was the Nostalgia Critic Q&A. We tried to get in there. With that panel, figured we'd be in there because we didn't know if they were going to clear the room. They didn't clear the room, but they did make us move back. So we did lose our admittedly pretty good seats that we had. But the girls who were sitting in the row behind us moved up into our seats, and they didn't get made to move after doing that. So they got our good seats, and we ended up a couple rows back, admittedly closer to the table, but a few rows back. So it's like, what the hell, panel moderators?
Yeah.
That's one thing. I give credit to the Connecticon staff here for a minute. They bust their ass putting this thing on, and the logistics must be a freaking nightmare. I can only imagine. So major props to the Connecticon staff for doing what they do and getting things done. I give you a lot of credit. That said, that's not going to stop me from criticizing you where it was weak.
Mm-hmm.
And in this case, I feel like for big panels like that, one of the biggest weaknesses that came up a couple of times that I'll cover was change outs of rooms from one panel to another. It seemed like there was a lot of like management wasn't quite as stringent as it should have been in regards to emptying rooms properly or moving people to the right seats. Now, when you're that outnumbered, I understand it's hard, but that's why it's they were running around so much trying to get things done that people weren't there enough to kind of moderate what was going on and make sure people were where they were supposed to be. They were trying to do like multiple things at once, and so it was. I know it seemed like a lot of fans were in certain panels frustrated about trying to figure out what was going on and a lack of direction from the staff in certain instances.
Yeah.
So that admittedly was a problem, and I'm going to cover a little bit more of that later. So we didn't move back, but we did see Doug Walker's panel. I do have video of it. I am going to put that up on probably my personal channel or another channel somewhere. I will put that footage up and get it up there in some manner. All of his panels were recorded by Con, so they will inevitably be up at some point anyway.
You could just throw it up on the X-Pound channel.
I could do that too. I'll see. It'll be uploaded somewhere. We'll let you know.
But I was going to say, with regards to the staff and the logistics of all that stuff, I think that's the biggest problem with pretty much any convention, especially the larger ones, is the twofold. One is it's so large. There's so many people there that it's hard to manage that many people. That's number one. Number two, a large contingent of the people who work at these conventions are volunteers. Good luck controlling them.
That's very true, but admittedly, even the people that were there that were obviously volunteers did an amazing job for what they were able to do. I'm giving them full credit because everybody had specific jobs that they were in charge of, and that was pretty cool. The biggest problem seemed to me on a couple of occasions, and I understand why they set this up this way, but there is a flaw in the setup here because if you don't know, for a lot of these panels, specifically the ones in which one of the major guests is going to be there, each major guest has a handler assigned to them by the con.
Right.
And that person isn't with them the whole weekend. They're in charge of getting them from point A to point B, making sure they're where they need to be when they're supposed to be, ushering them out when they have to keep them on schedule, and keeping them from getting mobbed by con-goers, things like that. And generally, their go-to person for anything they need for the weekend.
Right.
And those people are also in charge of running their respective panels. And that's kind of where it seemed like there was a bit of an issue because there would be a panel going on, it would empty out, and then those people would leave, and then you'd have to wait for the next guest to get there with their moderator before anybody was, moderating the lines or the panel change out, unless one of the staff happened to be there. I think they were depending a lot on the people who admittedly were doing a very good job at keeping the celebrities on track and where they needed to be. But because they weren't getting there until the celebrities were getting there, there was that period in between panel change-outs where there wasn't a lot of guidance for people who were lining up early for the next panels, which was happening a lot. And again, I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. But that was one of the big things that did come up here. But let's see the Q&A. Very entertaining. One of my friends did get to ask Doug a question at the panel. So
nice.
I said, when I put up the footage or when his footage goes up, I will, for you, not for the audience, but for you, I will point out who that person is.
Oh, I'm sure they'll see them on photo before the night
briefly.
is out.
I'm going to try to leave them up briefly, but there will be photos. So after this, we went back to the dealer's room after that panel, which was admittedly pretty big. We went back to the dealer's room, and I got some more signatures. I did get the signature of Michael Dorn, who was there. Kapla. I got the DS9 Wharf.
And again, as I said the other night when you showed that to me, you should have gotten him to write Kapla on it.
I should have, but he was big and intimidating, and I was nervous. Even though he still seemed like the nicest guy ever.
That's what the crew says.
Yeah. So when I get to the point of the DS9 panel, I'm going to tell you a funny story that he told, but we'll get
Fair
there.
enough.
So I got him. Right next to him was Nana Visitor, the actress who played Kira Nerys on Deep Space Nine, Star Trek. I got her autograph.
I still think that's a fucking awesome photo.
Yeah, they overlaid her with the attendant, which I thought was awesome. When I first came over to the table, I didn't actually see this one.
Uh-huh.
And then somebody else was on the waiting behind me, and they were looking at that photo, and they were like, "Oh, there's one with the attendant." And then I was like, "Oh, there's one with the attendant. I'll take that one." Because I didn't see. I was gonna just take the straight up Kira Nerissa uniform shot, and then I saw this, and I'm like, "Yeah, get that one."
It's a very nice
I will
one.
be framing these, by the way.
I still need to frame mine from Emerald City Comic Con.
You should do frame yours from Amazon account. So we did that. That was cool. While we were there, I also did get an autograph here from voice of the Honest Trailers, John Bailey.
Nice. Welcome to Honest Trailers.
Yeah, it says "Stay Epic," John Bailey. This is he had a variety of prints out, some from XCOM, some of him, some of Honest Trailers title cards, and I like this one because it had a lot of characters on it in him. I thought that was cool. So I figured I'd give that a shot.
Nice.
So that was fun.
Say stuff in my awesome voice.
Yeah, he did say things in his awesome voice. He did. He said boobs.
Nice.
And one of my friends got a it had the Honest trailer from the Honest game trailer card from Pokemon that had Pikachu on it, and on that he wrote Pokeballs,
Nice.
which was cool. So we went and saw John Bailey. And by the way, people, if you're a fan of Honest Trailers or any of John Bailey's other work in XCOM or any of the other games that he's in, he said he's got a couple of shows coming up that he's on that he couldn't talk about yet. He's in Dishonored 2. He couldn't talk about that yet. Just that he was in it. And if you have to go see John Bailey at a con, because I feel like, I don't know if it was a lack of promotion or lack of what, but John Bailey seemed to get shafted at this con. And I felt bad for the guy. Because anytime we went near his booth, he had almost nobody there. It just seemed like he was getting a lack of attention, and that's just a shame. Because John Bailey is an awesome guy; he does great work. If you're a fan of John Bailey, go see John Bailey. Look up online, follow him, track what he does. Go see him at a con. Great guy. He's awesome. So do that. So we got those autographs. And kind of checked out the dealer's room, scoped out the booths, things like that. Again, a lot of cool stuff there, a lot of great stuff. Just so many fun things. Yeah. So after that, we did at that point go over to the Front Street Bistro, which is a restaurant that is across the street, diagonally from the convention center. It is part of the same building as the Spotlight Theater, a movie theater that is right there. They're literally like the same thing, just it's one big area. You walk into the theater's over here and the restaurant is over here in the same door. Great food at the restaurant, reasonable. They had a special Connecticon menu. Certainly go check that out. And the theater itself, we didn't see any movies, but the theater itself, very cool too. They show everything that goes on at the theaters. And what's very unique about the theaters is, of course, they do serve all the food and assorted drinks of the restaurant there, including the alcoholic beverages, and you can take all that in the theater to your movie with you. One thing that they do heavily advertise on everything, they say, yes, you can drink in the theater. So props to them. That's pretty awesome. So if you're ever in that area and looking for something to do outside the con, there's a movie theater right there. Catch a movie, get something to eat at the bistro. Great food. Good stuff. Check that out.
Excellent.
I encourage you to give that a shot.
Indeed.
So that was a lot of fun. We then went to another great panel that I hadn't initially planned to go to, but my friends took me to. You may, out there in internet land, be familiar with a personality known as Uncle Yo. And Uncle Yo had a stand-up comedy panel where he was basically just doing stand-up.
Nice.
Uncle Yo is a nerd-centric stand-up comedian, if you are all not familiar. He was hysterical. Uncle Yo is very, very funny. If you get a chance to see Uncle Yo do stand-up, do that. Because if you're a nerd and you will be entertained. Guaranteed.
Fair enough.
And so watch, very hilarious. His DVDs are for sale. You can go to his website and buy his stuff. Very cool. He did a few other events we didn't get to go to, but a lot of his stand-up was very, very good. A lot of nerd-centric stuff. Talked about Pokemon Go. Talked about Batman, Superman. You know, a lot of great jokes that he threw out there. Talk about Civil War a little
Nice.
bit. You know, but just so much fun. He talked about his cats. That was entertaining. And really, something that really kind of brought the show home for Uncle Yo was he got a little serious, and he talked about his stepfather a little bit. His stepfather unexpectedly passed away about a month or so ago, and so he did talk a little bit about that and how that affected him. His stepfather being the only real father he ever knew, and so he talked about that a little bit, how that affected him. Some stories from his childhood, and you know, how that kind of started to encourage him, and he didn't get really emotional at the end, and that was really cool to see genuine, and everybody was really with him on that, trying to, you know, be positive, go forward, do good things. It was just amazing. Great panel. Props to Uncle Yo. He's hilarious, he's emotional, he's great, and you know it's gonna be a pretty funny stand-up panel when he launches the stand-up. He's got the projector going, advertising his stuff on the big screen, and 5 minutes into his stand-up, the entire screen goes haywire and gets interrupted by Lenovo update screens, which was just hysterical. And like, it took him a minute to realize, and then he realized that he's like, he just throws his papers on top of the table, walks over, starts screwing with the laptop. Yes.
Free internet at work, people.
Yeah, he went back over, and he picked his paper. He was interrupted. The first bit that he did was he did welcome to Otaku Airlines, doing a bunch of hilarious airline,
Mhm.
What are Omega, Alpha Ruby, Alpha Sapphire, Ruby, Gold, Platinum, whatever, people bored, this, that. Just making fun of all kinds of hilarious airline shit, nerd stuff, the whole bit. And he got interrupted, so he came back and he picked papers up. He's like, he picked papers up. He was like, I was like, fuck Lenovo update screens. Something like that. He threw it in there. It was pretty funny. So he did that. He did a great job. The whole panel was hysterical. So see Uncle Yo stand-up comedy if you get an opportunity, or buy one of his CDs or DVDs on his website. It's worth it. One of my friends got his DVD, so that was cool.
Nice.
So after the Uncle Yo panel, which was a bit late at night, that was at 6:45. After that, we just went back to the room. I brought my PlayStation 3 with me, so we played a little bit of Portal 2, which my friend had not really played before, so they thought that was cool.
Nice.
That was fun. I didn't get to do much, but got to do a little. Yeah. And that was the end of our Friday. Overall, an eventful Friday. Got some signings, some panels. One thing I will say, people, if you are going to go to a big con like this, schedule.
Yeah. Absolutely.
There is so much and again, if you get yourself the app, you're going to thank yourself, even if it's a piece of shit that crashes every 5 minutes.
I would also say don't have just one. Have a plan B, C, and D depending on times, because some shit will take longer than you expect it to, and you will have to modify your schedule.
Yes, this happened on this did happen on several occasions. Things did run a little bit late, get cut short, whatever else. So
you get stuck at lines.
Yeah, I'm gonna cover that in a minute. But yeah, it's a great, and you can actually set my schedule. You can set add to schedule the ones that you want, so you get schedule just the ones you're interested in.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can always go back and take them off and add new ones on as you go. Given all the rooms they had, there was a lot of concurrent activities, a lot of overlap. So you will get very caught up in everything. You do want to plan and schedule out your day in advance, if at all possible, so you know where you're going and when, or you will end up missing things. So be aware of that. Plan. The entire weekend flew by for me. There was so much going on, and it felt like, we did so much, and it felt like so little.
Mm-hmm.
So plan. Overall, Friday, fun day, great start to the con. Seeing a lot of good stuff. Great cosplays, great people, just all kinds of wonderful things. So do check all that out. So next, Saturday rolled around. Saturday we did get up early because we didn't want to get a lot done on Saturday. We started off by going into the aforementioned VVO restaurant at the hotel for breakfast. Again, I don't know if this fluctuates or what, but I am going to tell you, at least from my perspective right now, don't buy the breakfast buffet. It's overpriced as hell. It's $16.95.
Yeah, buffets are expensive.
Yeah, that's for a breakfast buffet. Unless you're a big eater, do not go for the breakfast buffet. They did have a nice variety of stuff. They had some French toast, eggs, bacon, sausage, breakfast potatoes. They had bagels, muffins, rolls, cream cheese, jam, cereal, milk, a variety of fruit, apples, oranges, bananas. Like I said, muffins, pastries, all kinds of things, orange juice, coffee. A lot of stuff on the buffet, but unless you're a big eater, it's not worth the $16.95. We didn't look at the price beforehand, and only my one friend Cam ate enough to justify really the price. My friend Melissa and I did not. So, just make sure if you go to the buffet, just make sure you're aware of what you're getting. It might be better to just get yourself a off the menu breakfast than to go for the buffet if you don't think you're going to eat that much.
Yeah.
So that's my advice on that. Also, if you come back in for breakfast, you might also again see John Rhys Davies eating breakfast with his wife. So there you go.
I'm sure John Rhys Davies got the breakfast buffet because he eats a lot.
I don't know. I didn't look. So we got the breakfast buffet, and then the other thing to be aware of, if you go with friends, that's cool. Hang out with your friends. But do what you want to do. Don't hesitate to split off from your friends if you have some differing interests and differing panels or events you might want to go to. You're going to be better off than sitting through a panel you're not going to enjoy.
Yeah.
So go to the panels that you want to go to. Split up, rendezvous later at the panels you're all going to enjoy. You can have a lot more fun that way, and you'll cover more panel ground, and you can tell each other about the panels they missed. So,
or show it to them if you record it.
Yes, if you brought recording and you can do that, yeah, go ahead. So at this point, we split. They wanted to go to the Ghostbusters panel. Yep. So they went over to the Ghostbusters panel, and I went to the Star Trek Beyond 50 panel.
I think you made the right choice. Because I'm assuming this panel was more to try to hype up the new movie.
A little bit. It's actually a very good panel, and I feel really bad because I don't know the name of the guy that did this panel. The celebrities weren't there for this. But I don't know the name of the guy that did this panel, but he's doing a bunch of other panels. I saw New York City Comic Con and a bunch of others. He's doing a bunch of panels. I know later on that same con, he was doing a Doctor Who panel. So, guy, whoever you are that ran the Beyond 50 panel, you did a great job. I will try to look for you if I find out you're at other cons and I recognize it, it's you. If I go to any other cons.
Fair enough.
So that was a lot of fun. The Star Trek Beyond 50 panel was a lot of fun. That was in the Phoenix room. And yeah, again, and also check your maps and figure out where the rooms are so you know where you're going in advance too. And make it much easier to figure out where you need to be when and what you're going to do so that you can traverse the con halls more easily.
Yeah.
And at the same time, consider when your panels are going on and whether this is a panel that might potentially have a line.
Yeah.
If it's going to be a big panel, any panel that has a celebrity at it, usually, if not others, you're going to want to get there early and get in line. If you do not do that, you are not going to be guaranteed a good seat, if a seat at all, because panel halls do fill. There is a fire code.
Yeah.
Also, random note. If you go to Connecticon and you are in the Connecticon Convention Center and you are up on the panel floor and you are in either of the side hallways by the panel rooms waiting for panels to start, do yourself a favor and do not sit on the ledge grates by the windows because you will break them and then you will be in trouble.
Okay,
Don't
then.
do that. That at least 2 of them broke and they repeatedly had to go around and yell at everybody to stop sitting on the goddamn grates.
Then maybe they should provide chairs.
There were some benches. There just weren't that many benches.
Yeah.
But they said, people are sitting on the edge of the ledge was fine. Just don't sit on the great part because it will collapse in and break. So, if you're in the convention center in Connecticut in the future, just don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Also, try not to crowd halls and cause a problem because the fire marshal will come in and start yelling that people are causing a fire hazard. Or the con people will do that to you, one or the other. So, wait, when did we? I think I skipped an entire panel.
Okay, then. I thought you wrote notes.
I did write notes, but I wrote them from memory.
Suck.
I don't know if we went straight for the. Yeah, we went to the breakfast buffet. So before the breakfast buffet that morning, I didn't miss it by that much. The first thing we did that morning was we actually went to an Atari game design panel.
Okay.
That was a lot of fun. The two guys running it are actually the two gentlemen that are. I can actually give you their names because that I have in my book of tricks. Because they do give all credit to all of the con staff in here. But that panel was actually being run by. Where is it? The panels and workshops manager Scott Rubin and Brian DeCoster. And they did a great job. They do a lot of they had ROMs of a lot of Atari games. They talked about, general design of Atari games versus games today. Minimal pixels so you can make them easily. How both the difficulties and ease that come with working with that minimal type of gaming. Not really coding or anything like that, but just general design of how do you make this game fun and how do you,
Right.
what makes it not fun. And really, very interesting and a good panel to wake up to in the morning. So if you're out there and you're on YouTube, what you might want to do is you can throw in on YouTube Atari panel PAX because they did this panel before at PAX and they recorded that one. They said it was going to be going up on YouTube. So if you want to see this panel, it's slightly different each time, obviously, but if you want to see this panel in general, there's a version from PAX that either is or will be on YouTube. So check that out. It's the Atari game design panel by those two guys.
Mm-hmm.
So make sure to give that a check out.
Nice.
A lot of fun. So then we got the breakfast, and then we split off to the two separate panels. I went to the Star Trek panel. They went to the Ghostbusters panel. And we did our thing with that. I got a text part right through that apparently the Ghostbusters panel sucked. So,
Again, I think you made the better choice.
Evidently, and so they left the Ghostbusters panel and they went over to the panel on Munchkin because the creator of Munchkin was there.
Nice.
So they went in to go to a panel from him, and he provided them each with a signed bookmark. My two friends.
Nice.
And this bookmark is usable in game.
Ooh.
And I can't remember exactly what it did, but it was cool.
Okay.
Let's see.
This bookmark has been signed by its creator. You win. Ding.
Wasn't that bad. They have a wide variety of the bookmarks. You can go buy them on the Munchkin website, by the way. But in this case, this bookmark, if I can find it in the pictures here, I will tell you what it was. There it is. Because there's a variety of different people that worked on the game, so different people, have bookmarks named after them.
You can just throw up the picture.
I don't have.
Oh.
But it was the official Andrew Hackard Munchkin bookmark of the Red Pen of Doom.
Okay, then.
And you may use this bookmark in any game of Munchkin or its sequels. It may be used at any time on your turn while you are in combat. You may use only one bookmark of any kind per game, unless you change sex. If you change sex, you can use a second. You may not use more than two in a game, no matter what. Show everyone the bookmark so they can satisfy themselves that it is what you say it is. Stand up, brandish the bookmark, and loudly proclaim, "These numbers are incorrect." Take the top monster out of the door discards, and you may use its level in place of either your own level or the level of a monster in combat.
Wow.
All other numbers are unaffected. So that is fun.
Fair enough.
Yeah, there are several from different people related to the creation of the game. There's Steve Jackson, one of course. John Kovalik. There's a bunch of different ones, which is cool.
Nice.
So that was a lot of fun. So they showed me those when they got back, which was cool.
Cool.
So we did those panels. Then we reconvened in the second largest panel room, which was Ballroom A, and then Ballroom B and C were one big room where they were doing the very biggest events. Interestingly, I only ended up in there for the closing ceremonies. Go figure. But in the other big panel room, the Star Trek DS9 panel was there with Night Visitor and Michael Dorn.
Nice.
So, by the way, I will just mention, because I did get there, both between the panel and the autographs I got from them. If they're at a convention, go see them. They are like the nicest people. Especially Night Visitor had a conversation with me for several minutes. She was very, very cool. We talked about different things. I didn't get to ask her my question at the panel or get back to talk to her, but go see them. They're great people. Very nice people. Michael Dorn had some great stories at the panel. He talked about the time where on Next Gen they did a hilarious fake video saying that people didn't like his character to prank him. All kinds of fun stuff like that. Things on set. A lot of their backstories of their characters. Asking Michael Dorn about going from Next Gen to DS9. Things like that. How inspiring the characters were. It was a great, great panel. A lot of great questions. So that was fun. So we did that DS9 Q&A. And again, I'm hoping most of these panels will end up on the internet, so keep your eye out for them. And this is the part of the day on Saturday in particular where things started to get a little crazy. I'm out of water. Oh, well. It's a sign that I'm talking too much. Anywho. So at this point, they cleared the room from the DS9 panel, and we come out of the DS9 panel room. Which the next panel in the room is Tea Time with SpongeBob and the Ice King.
Okay, then.
Which is the Tom Kenny panel, of course.
Mm-hmm.
So we come out of here only to find two massive lines running down both sides of the doors around the corner.
And you probably turned around and went back in.
No, the room was cleared. We could not.
I find that a little unfair that if you want to see two panels back to back, if you're in the first one, you're fucked for the second one.
Well, the general idea being, the people have been waiting in line for umpteen amount of time for this next panel. It's not fair to them that just because you happen to be interested in the one previous and they weren't, that you should get a better seat. It doesn't seem fair that, all the non-Trekkers who didn't give a crap about Night Visitor or Michael Dorn shouldn't get penalized just because they're not Star Trek fans.
Yeah, but so you're willing to piss off one group of people to not piss off another, because let's be honest, both of it's not fair. It's not fair to the people standing in line that they didn't want to see that panel, so therefore they weren't there first. But at the same time, it's not fair to the people who were in that panel who literally have no opportunity to get in line for the next one because they were in the previous panel.
Yeah, so there is unfortunately some debt. That's one thing you have to consider when you go to these cons is which panels do you want to be in most? Is it worth going to an earlier panel when it might delay you for the line for a later panel that you might want to see more? Sacrifices must be made.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, this is the kind of situation where we have to defer to Leonard Nimoy's expertise.
Oh.
The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few.
Mm.
And the line is unfortunately the many, usually. In Tom Kenny's case, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
So, we went to the Tom Kenny panel. Tom Kenny packed that room. There were no empty seats in that room. There had to be 300-400 people in that room.
Mm.
That might be excessive, maybe 200, but it was a lot of freaking people. And this panel was great. First of all, the other problem was, again, this is one of these problems with this room clearing and this whole situation, is that the panel ended up starting late.
Most panels do. Also keep that in mind.
Yeah, which was kind of which is annoying when everything's on a time limit for other things, and the panels just lose time and can't go over to compensate.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's what happens when the con people, schedule things so tightly packed together and never take into account the fact that there's no human way possible for people to get from point A to point B in the allotted time. That's the reason why a lot of panels start late, is because you have your guests, your celebrities, literally sprinting from the fucking dealer's room or autograph room across the goddamn convention center to get where they need to go in like 2 minutes. It's not happening.
It's true, but I mean, there usually is a 15-minute berth in between. Which there was here. I mean, there was a 15 minutes in between the end of the DS9 panel and the start of the Tom Kenny panel.
Oh, yeah, I'm not saying, there isn't going to be a berth between the two panels. I'm just saying if they need to allow time for the guest for the panel to actually get there, because I can't count how many panels I've seen online that they started late, and the guest is like, yeah, sorry I'm late. I literally had to sprint from the autograph line over to here and had like no time to get over here.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, that's the problem, is they want to get as much in as they can, so they have to keep. But that's why they have handlers that are supposed to very promptly cut off autograph lines at the right time and get them where they need to be. So
yeah, but unfortunately for the handlers, the celebrities have final say. And if the celebrity is going to sit there and want to do more autographs, they're going to do it. And they're usually pretty aware of the time, too. They're not going to be excessive about it, but,
Yeah, well, here's the thing, though. Technically speaking, they kind of don't. Because one thing you have to remember is the con is paying them to be there.
Yeah.
So, given that the con is the one giving you money today, you're their bitch, not the other way around.
Yeah, well. It goes both ways.
I've seen the handlers for the named guests, and, they were very on top of. They didn't hesitate. I saw a lot of instances, multiple people. They didn't hesitate when a panel was over or when there was an autograph line and the person needed to move on. They didn't hesitate to tell everyone, "Hey, look, we don't have, they don't have time right now. They got to get to the next, they got to get to the next place. I got to get back there. You can go down and see them at their booth, or you can go see them over here. But we don't have time to talk right now. We got to go," and forcing the crowd back to get the people out of there. Like, that happened all the time. So, no, the handlers would seem to have final say.
Fair enough, but that still doesn't solve the problem.
No, it doesn't, but I don't know if there is an easy way to solve the problem. Unfortunately.
Yeah, learn how to schedule shit better. You don't schedule someone for an autograph session and then have a panel across the goddamn convention center 5 minutes later. That's just bad scheduling.
Well, like I said, all the panels are on the upper floor. The dealer's room is on the bottom, where the signatorius is on the bottom floor. So they just got to go up a few escalators and they're around a corner.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't that bad, but that's one of those things. They need to get maximum signing time in so everybody has an opportunity to get the autographs and photos. Because these signatory guests, they have to do regular signings for the bigger names, not the internet people. The other people, there's professional photo times they have to meet.
Yeah.
There's the panels and events that they have to be at, and they need time in between to have meals, to do other things. So unfortunately for them, everything is very tightly scheduled to get the maximum amount out of these people while they're there in the time allotted.
Yeah.
That's why you'll see somebody signing from 1 to 2:30, and then a 30-minute break, and then signing again from 3 to 5.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, it is very tightly scheduled because there is so many people, and they want an opportunity for everybody to get to see who they need to see, which is a big plus for Connecticon. If you want to see somebody at Connecticon, without too much excessive waiting, you can see the people you want to see. It's not like Comic-Con where you're never going to get into any. You're only going to be able, you're going to wait one line all day. That's not going to happen at Connecticon.
Yeah, that's what happens at Emerald City Comic-Con too. I didn't even get to all the autographs I wanted. I literally only had time to stand in line for 2 autographs, but that's also because the line to actually get the fucking badges was fucking ridiculous, and they didn't know what the fuck they were doing. But that's another story.
Well, let me ask, what day did you go?
We went on, I think it was Saturday, so it was the busiest day. But it's quite obvious, yeah, the people running it did not know how to fucking structure a line.
Fair enough. That is good to know. Oh, by the way, I'll throw up some pictures here real quick.
Yeah, once I got inside, it was fine. The lines inside for the autographs, they were fine. They were long, and obviously the people signing autographs would talk to each person, and that's fair enough. So it took a little while, but it was structured fairly well.
That's good. So here, got some pictures from the Nostalgia Critic panel, right there.
Blurry.
Yeah, it's a little blurry. Sorry.
Is that Rob with the hat?
Yeah, that's Malcolm on the far left in the plaid shirt, Rob, Doug, and then Tamara's on the end in the blue shirt.
So it's Team Critic.
Yep, they were there. And here's here. This is still blurry, but here's a more close-up shot. It's a little uneven, but they're in the top corner there.
Was Doug dressed as the Critic?
Yes, he was.
No.
That day anyway.
He was cosplaying as himself.
No, the reason is because Doug was actually filming a review or part of a review at the con.
Oh, right, you told me about that.
And he came with his camera and asked different sections of the audience to give him certain reactions, and explained he was going to play them up as him pulling John Bailey and Lauren Landon out of their panels to be in a review that he was doing, and that was going to be the shtick. So he needed certain audience reactions to that happening. So he got our reactions for things. So look for me in that video when it comes around.
Yay!
Woo!
And now you wish you had an X-Pound shirt.
Yeah. So I had that. Let me see what else I got here.
What else have you got there?
That's what I'm going to try to see what else I have pictures of. Not that. What is that? I don't know what these pictures are.
You took them.
I know. I got to look up. Here we go. This is yeah, and again, because everything's here's a really blurry picture of Nana Visitor and Michael Dorn on their panel.
The hell is Nana Visitor wearing? So what the hell is Nana Visitor wearing?
It's like a silver sparkly top.
Fair enough. Looks like she's wearing a Klingon sash.
No, that's just where the light was hitting her top, her sparkly top.
Fair enough.
Yep. So that was fun. And then, as I mentioned, this one was sold out. Here is this is Tom Kenny at his panel.
Nice.
So that was cool. And I'll get to some other pictures in a minute.
Indeed.
So, I said, this is where we got a little crazy because that Tom Kenny panel was a little bit of a mess getting everybody in there and whatnot. We ended up pretty far in the back because we were in the previous panel. So we couldn't wait in the line. But that's just how it goes. And the panel ended up starting about 10 or 15 minutes late, which is to be expected.
Yep. Wake up.
Trying.
Hey, you're the one making it long.
I'm trying not to. I'm just trying to cover everything. Sunday is short. There's not much for Sunday. It's mostly Saturday stuff I want to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
So Tom Kenny came in for his panel, and apparently he was not properly briefed on what this panel was supposed to be.
Okay.
Because he came in, they brought him in the side door, and he came in, and everybody cheered, and he got up on the panel, and everyone was like, "Yay, Tom Kenny!" And he greeted everybody. He did the SpongeBob voice, and you know, he was taken aback at the size of the crowd in the room when he walked in. And he's like, and he went up to the panel table and he sat down and he looked around. He's like, "Is it just me?" And they're like, "Yeah, it's just you. Wait, is it all for me? Wait, wait. I'm the center of attention. I'm not used to this. I'm like being the guy under the table doing the voices. This isn't me. I didn't bring a dog and pony show. What is this Q&A? What are we doing?" But they ended up, because he didn't really have anything prepared. He thought somebody was going to be interviewing him or something was going to be prepared. He didn't realize he was supposed to prepare something.
Mm-hmm.
And he said he's used to being on panels with other voice actors. He's not used to being in a solo panel.
Right.
Generally. He's like, "It's tea time with Sunshine on the Ice King. I don't even like tea. I got coffee here." So not that he didn't like tea, but he had coffee. So, but they turned it over to Q&A, which works. So people lined up down an aisle and started asking questions. And some people got to understand some SpongeBob lines. He sang some of the SpongeBob songs. Boy, it was a lot of fun. Questions about how he got into voice acting. There were a lot of people that came up. There's like emotional stuff about basically saying my three idols are you, Bob Ross and Mr. Rogers, and you're the only one that's still alive. He came down and hugged a bunch of people when they were asking questions.
Mm-hmm.
All kinds of cool stuff. And it's just a really, really great, fun panel. And Tom Kenny was great at improving a little bit to keep things lighthearted. There was a moment where there was a point where they came in and they said, the line, "We can't have this line going down the aisle like this. It's a fire hazard." And so they're trying to figure out what they were going to do. And Tom Kenny's like, "Well, let's go. We don't want a fire hazard. Let's try to sort this out." And they moved everybody to the side of the panel table instead of up the aisle. And because they didn't know they were originally gonna have them sit down and have somebody run around with a microphone, but then they just kind of moved the line around to the other side. And as they were moving everything, Tom Kenny just started kind of going, and he's like, "Is this still over here?" Like, "Right, now we just moved the fire hazard over here. Now there's a fire hazard over here." Is this your first time being a fire hazard, guys? Because you're doing a great job. And throwing jokes out. So he was really funny. It was a great panel. I guarantee you that panel will end up online. Watch Tom Kenny's panel. You will laugh. So we did that. And then after Tom Kenny's panel ended, he headed back to from whence he came. And everybody streamed out. And we went down to whence he came at his booth in the corner by the bathrooms. And I got an autograph from Tom Kenny. I chose not to go with the SpongeBob pick that everybody was getting. But I went with the Spyro the Dragon picture because he voiced Spyro in Ripto's Rage and Legend of the Dragon, two of the early and best Spyro games.
Mm-hmm. What does it say? Watch out for those evil snowmen?
It says showmen.
Oh, showmen.
I don't know why. I haven't been able. I'm gonna have to go back and check those games and see if there's something in there that I missed.
Fair enough.
All right.
I don't know. Celebrities write weird things on autographs.
Yeah.
I mean, Dirk Benedict wrote whoosh on my autograph for some odd reason.
Who?
Dirk Benedict.
I don't know who that is.
Played Faceman on the A-Team.
Ah. Sure, why not?
He was the original Starbuck on the original Battlestar Galactica.
Oh, cool.
It's like the 70s or whatever.
Fair enough. But, yeah. So, a little bit of a cluster there. But we got through it. We got some autographs. An autograph from Tom Kenny. Tom Kenny had a pretty long line. He probably had the longest line of anybody at the con. Although Sean Astin and John Rhys Davies had pretty long lines during their times as well.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I give the con credit for being organized. What they did is in front of each booth, they put tape on the floor that formed an aisle that zigzagged back and forth, so they could have as many people as possible in front of the aisle without blocking the actual walking aisle and causing a fire hazard. And they had 2 rows set up because if you're in the con room, well, here I have a picture. I can show you the con room here. No, that's not it. No, that's upstairs. They have a picture. They have a picture of the con room here somewhere. I know they do. Here we go. So this was the exhibit hall level. As soon as the
Okay.
and everything over in this area. This is all the gaming stuff over here, board games, video games. There's a food court up here, things like that.
Mhm.
Tokyo Attack, PC gaming, board and miniatures demos, stuff like that. And then over on this side, this is all the performers, the sponsors are all up here. And then all your different booths and guests down here, dealers, artist displays. And then over on the far wall here was all of the internet guests. This is where Channel Awesome, John Bailey, those folks were, the Elite Three, an assortment of others. And then the signatory guests were along the back wall here. Well, right here on the corner here, this is where...
Mm-hmm.
Let me focus this on me, so stop switching to you. There we go. So back in this corner right here, this is where, in order from side to side, the one on the end here is Tom Kenny. Then they had Michael Dorn, Nana Visitor, Walter Koenig, Johnny Bosch, and then the end here. I think that was all the ones that were there. Yeah.
Except as you pointed out, Johnny Bosch was not there on Saturday.
Yeah, well, the booths were there though.
Ah.
Yeah, the booths there and label. And no, Johnny Bosch was there Saturday.
Oh, you just didn't go see him until Sunday? Until today or yesterday?
His line was too damn long.
That's not surprising.
Because what they did is over in this area over here, and if you see this area here next to it, these are the restrooms right here. This is the men's room, and the ladies' one is over here. But over in this corner, there's a big open area here that leads to an emergency exit back here. And so what they did was they set up two long swinging tape alleys here in this section, and they just used them for whichever guest had the longest lines. And so they would say, okay, overflow for John Rhys Davies is going to go over here, and Johnny Bosch is going to be here, or Tom Kenny and, whoever had overflow, and they could just use the two lanes that were there to put overflow, and then pull people over as the main, in front of the tables, columns opened up and had room. And Johnny had overflow that day, and we were trying to get to the next panel, so I didn't really have time to do that, unfortunately. So I did not handle that day. But we did get Tom Kenny. He was the other one that had overflow. But we did. My friends wanted to get Tom Kenny, and he'd been great in the panel. So I said, you know what, I'll get Tom Kenny. What the heck? And we did get a picture with him, as you can see there.
There you go.
That was a lot of fun. Those are my two friends. That's Tom Kenny in the plaid shirt, obviously. Those are some of his characters. You can see in the background, the Ice King, Heifer from Rocko's Modern Life, and Wardo from Imaginary Friends. And SpongeBob is caught up top there. You can't on off screen. You can't really see him, but you can kind of see him behind Tom Kenny's head. So he was a lot of fun. He signed autographs. He was chatting with people. He was doing the voices. Yeah, he was hugging people, because when he started hugging people at the panel, that was the end of it, and everybody wanted a hug from Tom Kenny. So he was hugging people, and everybody. It was a great guy. One of the nicest people. Amazing guy. Go see Tom Kenny if you ever get the chance. That goes to all of you out there. So definitely do that. A lot of fun. My friend went up to him. How familiar are you with SpongeBob?
Not that familiar.
Okay. Well, it was one of the running gags. So my friend went up to him and he said, Tom Kenny, there's something I've been waiting 23 years to ask you. And he put in the Patrick where he goes, what do you want to do? And Tom Kenny, we were wondering if he was going to pick it up, but literally without hesitation, SpongeBob voice, I don't know. What do you want to do? I don't know. What do you want to do? I don't know. What do you want to do? He picked up the bit without hesitation. It was pretty awesome. And then he threw out, and still in the SpongeBob voice, he goes, that comes from, no, I'm Dirty Dan. No, I'm Dirty Dan. whole line laughed at that. So he was entertaining everybody. Before we got up there, the people in front of us, there was a young girl and her mother, and he was offering recordings of him doing characters. And So he did a phone outgoing message for them and as SpongeBob, which was great. And he was like, it's something, hi, you reached the residents of, so he read all the names. They're out doing something, nothing. No. Well, yes, Gary, I'm sure it's something very important. Leave a message and I'll get back to you, or something like that.
Nice.
It's an amazing message. It was really cool. So that he was doing that for people was really neat. A lot of fun. So Tom Kenny is great. Check out Tom Kenny. If you get the opportunity, he is a treasure. Moving on, but Saturday. My friends, I don't have a picture because I didn't want to put up their pictures without permission. I put up the ones that I'm in. But my friends did go over and they got an autographed poster from Linda Larkin.
Don't know who that is.
That is the speaking voice of Princess Jasmine. In everything. And my friends met Leah Salonga last year at some point, so they got both Jasmines now.
Nice.
So apparently Linda Larkin was very nice. She was apparently affordable. She was giving away either smaller sheets or she had large the movie posters that, not her fault obviously, but they were really badly scanned. Like there was some problems with these posters. And they didn't even have the good one that everybody knows up front that maybe it's copyright problem, I don't know, but they had these posters that were just, yeah. But there were still nice posters. It included a poster holder and everything, so that was cool. So they got that. I didn't choose to go into that line. I was investigating Johnny's line while they were doing that, and they was like, it's overflowing. I'm like, I'm not waiting another line. We got to go to a panel and get Johnny tomorrow. And the line was much, much shorter on Sunday, and I was able to get in pretty quickly and talk to the guy.
Nice.
So, and I'm going to say something cool that happened to that when I get there on the Sunday part. So we did this. We also went over and saw John Bailey again because John Bailey sent out a tweet and Facebook post saying, jokingly something like, this really sucks. Channel Lawson's way more popular than me. Because he had nobody at his booth, and he was right next to Channel Lawson, who had this massive line that kept interfering with people's ability to walk.
Wow.
All the time. And so we went back to see him again because we felt bad. We went back and talked to him again, and he was still cool. And we mentioned we saw the post and everything, and he kind of jokingly said, "Yeah, I sent that out jokingly and everything. And of course, all the things I said about Connecticon, that's the one that Channel Awesome chooses to retweet." It's like, thanks, guys. But John Bailey was still cool, so those of you got to see him again. Again, people go see John Bailey. He deserves your attention. He's amazing. So that happened.
Indeed.
And then as we continue on, now here's what we had to make one of those amendment on the spot decisions, because there was for those of you unaware, Rob Paulson was supposed to be at this convention, and at the very last minute he was very sick and had to pull out, which was a shame. So the panel that was supposed to be an afternoon with the Warner Brothers became an afternoon with Wacko Warner, as Jess Harnell was there. I did not get to get an autograph or really even see him. Too much going on. But we were going to go to the Jess Harnell panel, but we realized because of the way we had scheduled, after we finally got through Tom Kenny's line in the dealer room, that if we wanted to get to the later thing that we were going to that I'll mention in a minute, it'll probably be basically if we went to that panel and then to the other one we were going to get to, number one, we might not be able to get into the other one because of a potential line, and also we weren't going to have time to eat anything until like 9 o'clock at night. So we made the executive decision not to go to Jess Harnell's panel. Sorry, Jess Harnell, I'll see you at another con. Nothing personal, just timing. And so at that point, we decided not to do that. We went over to the Subway that is, as I mentioned, the Connecticut Science Center is attached to this same complex, and they have a Subway in there, Subway sandwich shop. So we went to the Subway and got sandwiches. They were tasty. And FYI, I don't know if this was just during the con or not, but that Subway does not honor Subway rewards points.
Wow.
Just as an FYI.
That's kind of bullshit, but okay.
Yeah, I don't know why. My friend had his points card and they wouldn't do it, so whatever.
Did they give him reward points for purchasing from them?
He said he could take his receipt, go online, and put the number in, and he'd get the reward points for purchasing. So that was work. But admittedly, despite the mass amounts of people coming through, they had plenty of food. The only thing they ran out of was ice.
Okay.
So, but the drinks were cold, so it was fine.
Yeah.
So that was cool. So we went and got some food, and then we went to. Luckily, we made the very smart decision. To do this. There was a panel going on because we decided to skip the Wacko Warner panel because it overlapped with another panel that we had wanted to go to, which was the panel for, if I can find it.
Yes.
I'm trying to find it on this schedule thing here. Sorry, hang on.
You didn't have it written down on your notes?
This one I did not write down, no, because it was one of the things that we just ended up not going to. I thought I would remember it. I did not. It was in the panel room right next to the one we ended up going to. But what happened was we decided to head up to the area where that picture I showed you before. This is when I got that picture. We went up and we were going to go to the panel for... Come on, what panel was it? My mind is not working. Oh, by the way, first of all, there was a Mighty Morphin Super Sentai panel. Nobody told me.
Wow.
It was mostly about Sentai, but still, I would have gone to that panel. I was not informed.
You didn't bother to look beforehand?
You realize how much shit is on here?
So
There's a
you
lot
can't
of
really,
shit on here.
You can't really blame anyone but yourself then.
I'm sorry, I didn't have time to look through 10,000 things. Right, so the afternoon with Wacko Warner was in Kraken. What was the other thing that was in the one right next door?
I do not know.
Sorry, folks. Live, people. That wasn't it. What the crap was it then? Because what would happen is we had intended to go to a panel in one of the rooms. And when we got there to that room, the panel was full. We're like, oh, I remember what it was now. They were doing a, what the crap did they call that? Right, that was that. So it's going to be down here somewhere. Nerd Fit Game Theater 3000.
Okay then.
Which was basically the team from Nerd Fit Network doing their Game Theater 3000, which is basically they
Mystery Science Theater 3000 for games?
pretty much people play games and then they Mystery Science Theater 3000 it.
Okay then.
We really wanted to go to that panel, but that was running 5:15 to 6:45. And it was overlapping with the Wacko Warner panel, so we already decided to skip that. We were going to go to this and then the next panel. But we got up there, and this panel was full, which sucked. So we were already up there, so we went down to the next room over, which was where the other panel later we were going to go to was. But mind you, at the time that we got up there, this was at like 5:30 that we got up there, mind you.
Mm-hmm.
And the other panel we wanted to go to, as I scroll up, past all of this junk, was the Guests Against Humanity game. That was starting at 7:30. That was a game of Cards Against Humanity. The team from Channel Awesome, the team from the aforementioned Nerd Fit Network, and one person who won a seat in the charity auction that was going on in that room beforehand. They were auctioning off a seat in the Cards Against Humanity game, and he got a high bid. So he got to play as well. And so we went down, and we decided, well, you know, we went down to see, because there were some people sitting there like, are people lining up for this already? So we went down to check. And the people by there weren't, but people across the hall sitting on the couch, we asked them. That was the Steampunk Beauty and the Beast I mentioned earlier. And we said, are you guys waiting for the Guests Against Humanity? And they're like, yeah, we're sitting here. We're gonna stay here and wait for it. And we were like, the panel's 2 hours away, but given what this is, we should stay here. Thank God we did. Because we ended up actually sitting to the left of those folks who were sitting on the couch. So for the what was undisputably the greatest panel at the con, the greatest event at the con, and so much fun. It had one of the longest lines, not Tom Kenny long because that's a much bigger room, but long nonetheless.
Mm-hmm.
And by virtue of where we ended up sitting next to these two that were there first, guess who ended up first in line?
Nice.
This guy. Admittedly, that ended up being not as good as I thought, but
You're not wearing a Deadpool shirt.
I don't care. Make the chibi fucking chungus. Anyway, random. Go see Deadpool on DVD and Blu-ray if you haven't. Free promo for Deadpool. Anywho,
Mm-hmm.
I need to start wrapping this up because this is going way too fucking long.
It's a 4-day con. What'd you expect?
Well, didn't think it'd go that long. Anyway, so here's where I started observing some of this problem. I had earlier observed it with the Tom Kenny lines and things because they ended up with 2 lines, which, again, that's because nobody was moderating this to keep everybody in one line, so they ended up with 2 lines going in simultaneously. And with this particular panel, this became a particular mess because everybody lined up 2 hours early, and I don't think staff anticipated that.
Mm.
So we kind of formed an unofficial line for the con. And the Steampunk Beauty and the Beast, a few more of their friends came over and joined the line, and we kind of formed the unofficial line waiting for the con. And between the girl in the really good Toph costume, Toph from Avatar: The Last Airbender, and myself, we became the unofficial line moderation staff. Because it was going to be a mess if we didn't.
Mm-hmm.
So we just kind of, as people were coming over, we were saying, yeah, we were telling people as they were checking the door, are you here for the Guests Against Humanity? This is the line, it ends back there. Trying to keep things in order. And then somebody, because this hallway ended in a concourse down at the end where there were some tables and things laid out. And then I don't know, again, it was scheduled or something got moved. I don't know what happened, but we were there waiting this line, and the line was getting pretty large, and there were other people there. And then somebody decided, oh, let's bring a bunch of cosplayers through for the cosplay photo shoot. So now we had a clusterfuck of cosplayers over here on this end of the hallway, blocking everything. They were pushing back toward the part where they were interfering with our line, and we were trying to stay in line and maintain the integrity of the line. And finally some con staff came out. Meanwhile, this is a little bit later, as we've already been in line for a while. As this is going on, one of the guys came out. One of the ladies came out, and I asked, the charity auction is going on in the room that we're waiting to get into. And we find out that something went technologically wrong in the charity auction room, and that's at a temporary standstill, which means everything's going to be late. It was a mess. But
ain't technology grand?
Yeah, but I did my best to try to keep everybody in line. We did what we could. We told people what was going on, tried to keep it separated. This is the cosplay. This is the line for this. Reminding people to make sure to have your 18 and up wristbands.
Mm-hmm.
That's very important at cons like these. I don't know if they had these at your cons.
If they had 18 plus panels, probably.
Yeah, that's a big thing. If you go to these cons, be aware of 18 plus panels. Usually, and at least to this particular con, you will need an 18 up wristband. There's an information desk in the center of the concourse on the panel floor where you can present your ID, and they will put on your wrist an 18 and up wristband. It must go on your wrist. It cannot go on your cosplay, your props, anything else.
Yeah.
So with your 18 and up wristband, that will get you, and they will check the wristbands as you go in, and you will not get into an 18 plus panel without a wristband.
Mm-hmm.
So make sure you get your wristbands. I know that I heard a couple of people where they got there for the panel, and the line wasn't terrible, but they didn't have their wristbands, so they had to take time to do that, and ended up further back in the line than they would have had they known and done that ahead of time.
Mm-hmm.
Now, again, part of this, for this particular panel anyway, goes back to the con staff, because in the app and the, I don't know about on the website, but in the app, they did not bother to label it an 18 plus panel, despite the fact that it was.
Ooh.
On the list, a sheet of events that they had there. Here, I can. Where the hell is that shot? Looking for the picture. Here we go. Open this back up again. If it's going to be blurry, but if you can see this, ignore the cosplayers.
Mm-hmm.
On the right-hand side, you can see the guy standing by a sign. That sign is for the Kraken room, and there's a schedule of events on it.
Yes.
Well, each room had oh no, this is this is on the other side. Each room had different events in it, and so as you can see, there was a wide variety of events in each room. And on the one for the Dragon Room, which is where they were having this, they had written in the Guests Against Humanity. It wasn't even on the schedule for the room.
Mm-hmm.
They wrote it on with a marker, and they wrote in 18 plus on it. So I know there was a lot of confusion about some people who showed up and then found out it was an 18 plus panel. So that was a bit of a snafu. But in the con's defense, I'm going to make a counter argument.
Okay.
You know what my counter argument's going to be?
What's that?
Well, the name of the panel is Guests Against Humanity. You know what they're playing. Use your head. It's an 18 plus panel, you morons.
Unless you don't know what Cards Against Humanity is.
Yes, you don't know what it is, but you don't know what it is. Why would you go to the panel?
True, good point.
It's one of those things, like, if you're coming to the game, you know it's going to be 18 plus for that sort of thing. Which is why, because we didn't actually see it on the thing, but we had preemptively said, we said that's what was our logic was, it's Cards Against Humanity. It's going to be 18 plus, so we got wristbands. And so luckily we were prepared, but not everybody was. So I felt bad for those people.
Mm-hmm. They've done that themselves?
What's that?
Said they have done that themselves?
Kind of. But yeah, so make sure you're raising up wristband. And con staff, you're doing a great job. I understand the logistics are hell, but if you're going to have an event like this that you know is going to be incredibly popular, and you have to predict that a Cards Against Humanity game is going to be incredibly popular, station a staff member by the door, have somebody at least in the vicinity to check on it. There's tables down at the end of the hallway where people are kind of they've set up a base. So just send somebody down to check the panel room every couple of hours, and if there's a line forming, leave somebody down there to moderate the line. It's going to make everybody's lives a lot easier to keep that line moderated, keep the, if other groups come through, keep it separated, direct people where they need to go. Props to everybody that I saw in line to anywhere at Connecticon. This one I will give props to all the members and the people that came to the con. Everybody's very polite and willing to respect rules. Nobody was dicks about anything.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. People willing to help each other out, say what's going on, what is this line, what's this for, yada yada, where's the end, people helping each other out, maintaining the lines, willing to go to the back of the line. People are very good at self-moderating credit, but a staff member to keep an eye on the line would have been appreciated in that instance, purely because you had the line and then the photo shoot and all the everything. And then the fire marshal was there and he yelled about something and there was all kinds of problems.
I think it's kind of sad that the con goers are better moderators than the moderators.
Well, I think the problem is, as far as I could tell, looking at some of these poor people, the moderators are just overworked.
Oh,
There's just too much to do. They just can't keep up with it all.
And they can't afford to hire more. That's the other problem, too. Because they spend all their money on getting the guests. They don't have enough money to hire workers.
Well, that's well. They're all everybody that works at the con is volunteer.
Not everybody, but most.
No, actually, I read the whole spiel on the website. Everybody.
Wow.
Except maybe the chairman and the high executives. Obviously, they're probably getting paid off it, but most of the low-level functionaries that are not in a departmental, supervisory, or higher position are volunteers.
Fair enough.
So I was actually looking at their job openings and things on their website because it sounded interesting. And they did have a lot of useful information such as that sort of thing.
Fair enough.
So
you got into Cards Against Humanity. Well, Guests Against Humanity.
We did.
And how was that? Stop being a millennial. Don't look at your phone. Finish this recording.
I'm just trying to tell you what it says about the thing I was going to tell you about. Hang on. Where is it here? All staff positions of Connecticon are, bold letters, unpaid positions. They consist of people who believe in the community and the success of the organization. So,
fair enough.
Put that over here. So, the Cards Against Humanity panel was the best event of the con by far. It
Okay.
was amazing. Now, the room was set up in such a way that if you picture a rectangular room, at the front there were two tables and then like a screen in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
And all the card game was going at this table. And because we were first in line, we ended up at the end of the front row over here.
Ah.
So, in the front row, we could see pretty well, but we were on the wrong side of the room.
Fair enough.
But hilarious game, incredibly dirty game. It was definitely an 18 up. It was pretty amazing. I think and the best part was that the audience, because they didn't have it up on a screen where you could see what was on the table.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't set up a camera for that. So basically, everybody on the panel consisted, by the way, of the members of the NerdFit Network. There were 4 of them there. I apologize, I do not know your names, guys. But you were hilarious, so thank you for being there for that. I wish we could have come to your Game 3000 panel before, but timing.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see here. So they did a great job, and the rest of the group was the Channel Loss team: Doug Walker, Rob Walker, Tamara Chambers, Malcolm Ray, and John Bailey joined the panel, which was nice that they invited him along.
So that was 9 people.
There was 9 people, 10 because they also had the person who won the charity auction for a seat on the panel. So there was 10 people.
So they had celebrities plus local talent.
Yeah, kind of. They were all hilarious. So, they started passing around the cards and everything. People were hilarious. There was a lot of jokes about the minorities at the table being, because one of the members of NerdFit Network is an Asian guy. Plus, they had Malcolm, the black guy, Tamara, the woman. And they did a good job going around the table. They introduced themselves and whatnot. The Asian guy was like, I'm so-and-so from NerdFit Network, and I'm here to be racist. And the next guy was like, I'm so-and-so from NerdFit Network, and I'm here to be fat and obnoxious. And the next guy at the table did his thing, and they went down. And then he got to Doug Walker, and he's like, I'm Doug Walker from Channel Awesome, from Nostalgia Critic. I'm a social justice warrior, and I'm here to be offended.
He should have said, I'm the Nostalgia Critic, and I remember it so you don't have to.
He was trying to be funny in context. But
John Bailey should have said, I'm John Bailey, and I'm here for my awesome voice.
Yeah, well, it was pretty good. Like I said, I can only hope to God that they recorded that panel and are going to put it online.
18 plus panels usually don't, unfortunately.
It's
rare to find one online.
If I'd known that, I would have recorded it. Damn.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Although usually the Cards Against Humanity ones do.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Cards Against Humanity games are usually on. That's why
if anyone, Doug recorded it because he records all that shit.
True. He might have had somebody in the back of the room. So
go check channelawesome.com. It'll probably be up there.
It'll take probably a week or two, but we'll see. But anyway, so they got into the game. A lot of funny stuff. And the best part was, as they were playing it, the audience was giving commentary on the cards.
Nice.
So, somebody would read a card and it would get an ooh or a boo or some kind of general reaction, which was a lot of fun. When they were reading the answers, if there was the answer that was particularly bad, it would get a shame, 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 shame.
Nice.
And they were all, and it's so much fun.
Was this a WWE crowd?
I don't know.
You can't wrestle.
So somebody did make a Triple H joke in the Sunday panel, but I'll get there. And there were a lot of people cosplaying as wrestlers, I might add. I did see a number of those. Well, I was in Tom Kenny's line. A guy got in line behind. A Tyler Breeze got in line behind us.
Nice. Did he have a selfie stick?
I didn't see a selfie stick. I don't think you're allowed to have those at the con. I think that's on the forbidden items list because people could get hurt.
Mm.
So, but he had a big, probably pig coat. He had the face thing going on. He had the shorts designed to look like it looks pretty good.
Fair enough.
There was that. I thought he was a Ric Flair at first, and then I realized. So we had that guy walking around. There was who else did I see going around?
That would have been hilarious if it had actually been Tyler Breeze and he decided to cosplay wearing his ring gear.
That would have been funny. Who else did I see there? There was I saw a young lady dressed as Becky Lynch, steampunk goggles and all,
Nice.
which was pretty cool. I saw. When I say, when I was in the Star Trek 50 panel, a Dean Ambrose with a WWE belt around his neck walked in.
Nice.
He was there. Not a lot of good cosplays going on. Very impressive. So.
And I found it interesting that the three that you remember, the three that you mentioned, they're all current superstars. They're like new talent.
People seem to be going for the current superstars. There wasn't a whole lot in the way of the retro stars. The one retro star, the guy who was with or at the same panel as the Dean Ambrose guy, there was a Roddy Piper.
Nice.
With a kilt.
Nice.
So that was the one that the one retro guy I distinctly remember seeing in terms of wrestling cosplay.
I think that's cool because that means the new people are actually getting over.
Oh yeah, very much so, definitely.
Anyway, panel, go.
Yes, but there's a lot of funny cards, audience commentary on things. One thing I've noticed about John Bailey at panels, John Bailey likes panels. He's big on recurring jokes through panels. He'll keep jokes running through panels because they get laughs. He did that at a panel on Sunday where I saw him. But at this particular thing, one of the jokes that came up is I don't remember what the black card was. Oh, the first hilarious thing that happened that just set the tone for the whole thing was they were talking about they were distributing the cards, and I couldn't totally hear that because they were kind of talking over each other. They were handing the cards, and like, no, everybody takes 7 white cards, and we're gonna put the one black. We're gonna put the one black card down here, and so something about are there enough white cards? Like there's a ton of white cards. Right? There's plenty of white cards, and they don't take. There's only one black card in the center. And they're joking back and forth about kind of making a the usual racial jokes about the white versus black cards.
Mm-hmm.
And this had just started. They were just handing the cards out. And a couple of people made this joke, and John Bailey just turns around and he goes, "Black cards matter, dude."
Nice.
That just kind of set the tone. But the recurring joke that one of the generally horrible things, and this is one of the standard answers in the game, one of those horrible ones, black cards, and I don't remember what it was, but one of the answers was altar boys, because that's one of those cards that gets up in the game, and so John Bailey latched onto this, and so. Every time something dirty would come up, really dirty would come up in the panel, even multiple times with the reading of one question, John Bailey would be over there on the microphone. He'd be like, Altar Boys 2, Altar Boys 3, Altar Boys 27. He's making hilarious, horrible jokes about things. The black card came up, the school field trip was ruined by blank. He said it for pretty much everyone in that one. And just amazing hilarious stuff. I think the biggest card reactions of the night, I think, the two biggest card reactions, and a lot of the people at the table were using the audience to decide which ones to pick for the winners too. Also, one really harsh dude, I don't know what the problem was, but somebody, Tamara came up, and Tamara read a card that was like a bad card, and it was something like, I think it might have been the school bus trip was ruined by one. And she read the black card, the school field trip was ruined by blank. And I don't know who it was, but the audience turned on him in a heartbeat. Because as she read this, and mind you, the audience was quiet. So she read the card, and some asshole in the audience goes, "You."
Wow.
Audience turned. Audience was like, "Oh." And turned on that guy, and Tam was just like, "That is so hurtful."
Wow, dude! What the wow?
Yeah, somebody was an asshole. That did not go over well. But the biggest reaction that was a big reaction. But the other two big reactions was what was it? Oh, I don't remember what the hell the black card was. But there was a I don't for the life of me remember what the black card was. But the first answer that was read, because they had like 10 answers to read, so there was a lot of them. And I remember the answer that was read was the answer was Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't remember what the card was where it came up, the black card, but they gave the answer Bill Nye the Science Guy. And no, we have a viewer. Hi, viewer.
Hi, viewer.
But basically the answer was Bill Nye the Science Guy. And the audience went, woo! And then everybody started chanting, Bill, 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 like in the opening.
Mm-hmm.
And they went through this, and a lot of times the people on the panel were going, Bill, Bill, Bill. And then one dude on the panel jumping, and then as it starts to die down, one of the dudes from NerdFit Network, or either the NerdFit Network guy or the guy that was that won the seat, one of them jumps, I didn't see who it was, one of them jumps up and goes, Beekman rules. And so that was a big reaction. But the other one and this ended up winning the category, because the worst one, the one that got the biggest reaction, the worst category was the one, This Is How the World Ends. This is how the world ends, not with a bang, but with blank.
Right.
And so the answers for that one were pretty amazing. But the one that the audience just died because everybody was like, oh, because the answer was, this is how the world ends. This is how the world ends, not with a bang, but with the next mass shooting.
Wow.
Audience went down. I mean, everybody was like, "Oh," and then people were like, "Too soon." Not, it's like too soon. But the audience that got her. Like that got her. Everybody was just like everybody had to stop for a minute because I was like, "Damn."
Wow, dude. Just wow.
Yeah, it's like that was pretty good, and that was one of the.
I really hope this goes up because now I want Richter to see this.
Yeah, but there was that, and then there was the other answer that was possible for that one. There's a couple other answers that were good, but the other one that was really good was the last one that got read, which I think ended up winning because people were just a little too iffy about the mass shooting one. But the one that took the end, because full on truth. This is how the world ends. This is how the world ends, not with a bang, but with Pokemon Go. Yeah, they had blank cards.
Mm-hmm.
So they were writing things on blank cards.
Tell me mass shooting was not a blank card.
No, that wasn't a blank card.
Okay, good.
That was an in-game card. But Pokemon Go ended up winning. That was a blank card, and that ended up winning.
What was the because I know they don't look at them before it's read out by whoever's reading it. What was the panel's reaction to the mass shooting?
Well, like I said, I don't remember who was reading that one. But you can always tell when there was a good one coming up because the person who was reading them would look at it themselves and then go, oh God, oh. And then they recover for a minute and then they read it into the microphone for the audience. So you always knew when a good one was coming up.
Right, but what was the rest of the panel's reaction when they heard that one? Did they have the same reaction as the audience?
Pretty much,
oh
everybody kind of had the same reaction. And then, and I don't even remember who played that one. But everybody kind of had the same reaction. And somebody was like, "Too soon." and then it died down a bit. And then John Bailey was like, "Which one?" And then somebody else on the panel was like, "I don't know. What time is it?"
Wow.
So they kind of went round robin on that one. That one was pretty good. But yeah, there were some damn good answers there, and everybody was reacting hilariously. It was amazing. I hope somebody recorded it. I hope.
Doug.
I don't know. Well, we will see. I don't know. But it was amazing. I hope it goes up. If it goes up, check it out. Best part of the con by far.
Indeed.
And they had write in black cards too, which is how John Bailey's recurring joke that everybody started jumping on and stealing it. We ended up with the black card of Alter Boys 92 blank. And to insert a subtitle, so that was pretty funny.
Tell me John Bailey was the one reading for that one.
I don't think he was, but it was still pretty funny.
And if that's a recurring joke and it's his recurring joke, you need to write that in when he's the reader.
The problem is there's 10 people at the table. They only got around the table like 3 times, so they ran out of time.
Oh.
Because there was 10 people at the table, and again, because of the clusterfuck I mentioned earlier, the panel started late, so yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, let's move on.
Let's.
That was enough of that. So that was the end of the night. The end of that night. And then I went back to the room, and we hung out. And I recorded a podcast, which is the newest episode of Disney Heroes, which you can watch right here on Pets of the Mind.
Yes, indeed.
He's in it too.
Indeed. Twice.
Twice. How about that?
2 different characters.
So Sunday was a little more calmed down. The other thing we did do Saturday night, and this is more advice to people if you're going to Connecticon. Oh, we lost our viewer. Oh well, bye viewer, whoever you were. Oh, by the way, before I move on, I should probably do this. Where is it? Here we go. And there is the Cards Against Humanity table.
Nice. Very nice.
So that's pretty cool. So you can see on the right side, the guy in the red jacket was the Asian that got the racial jokes for and who was individually doing the best in the game. He had most of the really bad ones, but I think they ended up. Because they ended up interestingly going collectively by group, and John Bailey goes, well, I'm a temp and Shadow also, so mine count for them too.
Okay then.
So they ended up with, I think, 8 cards per each group, and I think the volunteer guy ended up with NerdFit Network, so they ended up with 8 with each group, and they were like, and they're trying to figure out what to do, and the audience started going sudden death, sudden death, sudden death, and this is one of those things because this ran until the closure of the convention center, which was at 9 o'clock, which means everybody had to leave at 8:45, and it was about 8:45. And one of the moderators said, "I'm sorry, we can't do that. As much as we would like to, we have to have everybody out of the convention center by 8:45. It is the rules of the convention center. We have to get everybody out. We can't go any longer, despite it starting again late because of problems."
Mm-hmm.
So, everybody was like, "Aww." And everyone was kind of bummed, and there was a tie. Everyone was kind of bummed. It didn't, it wasn't really a resolution. So that was, something. But as usual, I'm not focusing on you. Take a picture off the screen. Here we go. As usual, Doug Walker saved the day because at that point, that's when Doug stood up and took a mic, and he went, "Hey, look, can we just all agree that tonight everyone here are winners?" And everyone was like, "Yeah!" So that was cool. But yes, Sunday. So a piece of advice for those of you attending Connecticon. Sunday morning is a clusterfuck because checkout is at 11 a.m. approximately, and everybody has to be checked out by that time, which means that everybody, regardless of hotel you're in, and particularly if you're in the Marriott attached to the convention center, everybody will be trying to leave and get their bags to their cars at the same time so they can return in and do their Sunday conning if they're staying. So a good base plan is at some point on Saturday night before you go to bed, take most of your stuff and bring it to your car. You will thank yourself later because you will not be hauling things around and waiting hours to get an elevator to get anywhere. We put most of our stuff in the car Saturday night, which saved us a lot of time. All we had to do was keep closed for that night and the morning, and then we just made a quick stop at the car the following morning. We took the stairs down to avoid the crowds. Made a quick stop over there to drop the things off at the car, and then just take what we were taking, for the con back into the con to do our things for the con for the day. So that worked out. Now, here's something you don't know because this happened today because I haven't talked to you today. So top this all off. I blew an opportunity to meet somebody else.
Oh, good job.
Because I didn't know. So, as I mentioned, we have our stuff and we're going to the car. This is in the morning. We have our extra stuff. I had my laptop, some clothes. We're just going to put our extra stuff in the car and just take what we need for the con, for autographs and whatever for the day. So we go down to the hotel lobby. We walk through the hotel lobby, and they have a rotating door and then 2 side doors that are regular doors. So we're going through the regular door, and I see the people coming through the rotating door. And out of the corner of my eye, I see a face. So it takes me a minute because I see a face, and I'm like, there's something vaguely familiar about that. A girl, long brown hair, black hat. And I'm like, there's something familiar about that. So we step through the door and we start walking as I'm like, there's something, and I'm like, that looked, I'm just very, within the course of just a moment or two as I'm walking outside, because I've got this heavy bag and I'm trying to go. And as I step outside after a moment of having seen it come through, I stopped and I went, that was Kaluna.
Nice.
So I'm like, so I turn around, and at that point I'm like, well, maybe she'll still be in the lobby when I come back. Came back, she wasn't in the lobby. So I missed Kaluna. I went, but consolation prize, I went and checked her Twitter to confirm is Kaluna actually at the con. She was. And so we went to the once we got our stuff in the car, we went over to Doug Walker's other panel that was happening Sunday morning. That was the movies that everyone disagrees with you on panel. And so we went to get in line for that. We sat down, and again, because we took the stairs and avoided all the crowds, we got in line pretty early for that. Ended up directly in front of Rob and Doug, front row.
Nice.
Best seats in the house. Worked out perfectly. They still didn't call on us for any, they still didn't pick our hands, but we were there.
I'm also still kind of disappointed you didn't mention your Doug story with the elevator.
Oh yeah, the night before we were as we were bringing our stuff down to the car the night before, we were going to the elevators, and first elevator is full, we can't get anywhere, we're trying to figure out if there's going to get an elevator because everybody's going up and down to their rooms, everything else. The next elevator opens, Doug Walker's in the elevator, and we're like, hi Doug. And, well, I was only the close first. I'm like, Doug, and they were like, hi Doug, and he's like, hi guys. And Doug has stated, because my friends went back and talked to him at his booth again today, and he said that he likes to do this when he's in elevator doors are closing. So the doors start closing, and he goes, and he gets this real sad look on his face. He goes, as the doors are closing over his face, which is hysterical. He says he likes to do that when doors are closing. So that was cool. But yeah, we ran into him on the way. So on Sunday, we got in line for his panel. And while I was sitting in line for his for Doug's panel there, I said, let me check Twitter and see if that actually was Kaluna, because I'm pretty sure it was. So I check, and yeah, Kaluna's at the con. So I sent a tweet over to Kaluna. For those of you who don't know Kaluna, by the way, she's a channel awesome reviewer. Her name's Heather McDonald. She reviews retro stuff, movies, TVs, a lot of anime. Check her out. Great stuff. Kaluna reviews. Regardless. So I sat down and I sent a tweet over to Kaluna. And if I can find it here. Too many tweets.
Too many tweets.
Too many tweets. Too many tweets, pretty much. But anyway, let me go back to the. How do I get to like my tweets?
Click on you.
Oh, I got it. Here we go. I opened it over there. Okay. So I sent out a tweet. Come on, open, you stupid piece of junk. Load. There we go. So I sent out a tweet. I said, at Kaluna Reviews, I think I passed you in the hotel lobby, but I reacted too slow. Waiting for Doug's 11 a.m. panel now. Hope you're enjoying the con. And she actually tweeted me back.
Okay.
And she said, sorry, I'll still be wandering around the con for a while. But unfortunately, I kept my eyes peeled, but I did not see her. So, Kaluna, if by some freak chance you're watching the video, that was me that tweeted you. Sorry I missed you. Maybe next year. Love the reviews. Keep up the good work. And we have a viewer again. Hi, viewer.
Hi. Welcome to the end of the video. This is the last day.
Pretty much. So, that all happened. So that happened. So we went to the panel. Everyone disagrees with you on. Great panel. We didn't get chosen, but a lot of great movies to talk about. Differences in opinion. The highlight of that panel, people talk about movies people disagrees with you on. Either you like that everyone hates, or you hate that everyone likes. And there seemed to be a lot of things that people liked that other people hated. But one of the ones that came up the opposite way was somebody set up and said that they did not like It's a Wonderful Life.
Wow.
Yeah. And the audience had turned around and shamed him.
Wow.
Shame, shame, shame. And then just to top it off, because Rob just goes, what are you, a communist?
Yeah, Rob would say that.
And so they, after a laugh, he explained he didn't like it because he felt that everybody ignores the fact that the portrayal of the main character, George Bailey, he's kind of a horrible person in the first two acts of the movie, and everybody ignores that for the sake of redemption. So he felt that it was not as good a movie as people said it was. So
fair enough.
But there was a lot of great people talking about movies. The guy brought up Cloud Atlas. I fully agree. A guy in a Kylo Ren suit got up and bravely said that he liked the prequels. You know, but it was a great panel, a lot of fun. It was only Doug and Rob. The others were not there. I think they did reappear at the booth later. They just weren't at the panel. John Bailey walked in the panel with them, then he left. I don't know what. I guess he just accompanied them to the room or something.
Fair enough.
But so they did the panel, and that was fun. We got out of that. We went back to the dealer's room. And in the dealer's room, with the line significantly short enough that I did not feel bad going into the said line, I went and I got an autograph from Johnny Young Bosch.
Nice. Oh, it's got all three of them on there. Nice.
That is why I picked that one.
And he wrote his Morphin Time. That's awesome.
He wrote It's More of a Time. He wrote Adam. It's pretty cool. You know, too bad.
Did you tell him you were Power Force?
I told him I was Power Force. I'm not entirely sure he knew what that was. And I said, no, I'm like, you're my first Power Ranger I met. I really should, try to be more Rangers because I'm on Saban's Power Force. And he's like, yeah. And he was like, and I'm on the Power Force. It's like, oh, cool. And then he changed the topic because he saw my shirt and he goes, oh, Superman versus Batman. What'd you think of the movie? And I'm like, it was okay. I mean, there was some good things. It's like, I like Superman. I like Batman. It was okay. I couldn't stand Lex Luthor. It didn't work. It was like the Joker, the Riddler. It just didn't work for me. And I'm like, yeah, pretty much. So he said that he signed the thing. We took a couple of pictures. I have a picture. Picture with Johnny Bosch. Loading picture with Johnny Bosch.
Nice.
And his panel room there, so that's kind of cool. Also, by the way, because again, my images that I have that I don't remember having, I have somewhere in here, I think. Somewhere up here. No, that's not it. That's not it. Okay. I thought I took a shot at Doug's other panel. I guess I did not do that. Fair enough. And we got that one. Oh, I didn't show these, so I'll talk about these for a sec.
Okay.
I can't remember if I showed this one or not, but that's us with Channel Awesome.
Nice.
Now we actually ended up getting two because what had happened was they were here, but as you can see, there's somebody missing from this picture.
Yeah, there's no Malcolm, and it looks like Doug is trying to fucking knock Rob out of the way.
Yeah, it was. Well, here's the thing. Here's what you can't see. Can you look? Can you see right in this area right here? Is my mouse cursor doesn't show on your screen. That doesn't help you.
No.
My friend that's standing right in the middle with the beard looks slightly to his left at Rob.
Okay.
You see Rob's position?
Yeah.
You see his arm?
Yeah.
He was trying to give him bunny ears, but he couldn't reach far enough. Because I was behind him, and out of the corner of my eye, I saw Rob reaching with the bunny ears, but he couldn't quite get it high enough to get it in the shot. So that was on the first day. That was on Friday. We got that picture when I got the DVD signed, but Malcolm was not there. Malcolm was running late that day. So I think forget Tom Kennedy. Malcolm Bray's the hardest man to get a hold of at that damn con. Because then we went to the first panel, and we went up to see Malcolm after the panel, and my friend Melissa there, she got his autograph in her book, and then I was trying to get the DVDs, and then the handler came over and was like, no, they got to go back, and drag them away. So then we went down to the room that day, and we went up to try to get them, and like there was no line, and we went up, and Doug was there, and he saw us. He's like, oh, I'm so sorry, we just closed down because we're leaving, and I'm like, God damn it. So then we went back another time, and there was a huge line, and then finally today, my friends went back again because they wanted to get a picture with Malcolm while I was getting Johnny, and luckily Johnny's line was rather short. It timed out that I got out of Johnny's line, went back over, and they were close to the front of the line, and so my friend Melissa told me, give me your DVDs, we'll get Malcolm to sign them. So I gave her the DVDs, and Malcolm signed the DVDs. So I have Malcolm on the DVDs. And then they mentioned that, we didn't get a picture of Malcolm because we were here the other day, and Doug was like, oh, yeah, sure. And they called me over to get in the photo that they were getting, and we got in the photo, and we got this picture. If I put this picture up, not that one, that one. And we got this picture.
Nice.
with everybody in it. So that was cool. Also, I will just throw this in here because I didn't bring this up. This was on Saturday after the or no, Friday night actually. It was Friday night after the end of the Uncle Yo panel. I ran into
Load. There. Ah, yes.
our old friend Kadoya Kazuma, the Passing Through reviewer.
He seemed very disinterested.
Yeah, that was his disinterested look.
But
he
break.
pretty much there was a minor confusion because I was under the impression that he was going to be coming to the con on Saturday. He wasn't even sure if he was coming until right before. I thought he was coming on Saturday. He texted me while I was in a panel, and he was like, "I'm in," and I'm like, "Oh, okay, in for Saturday," and then he never answered me. And then it was only later I figured out that, oh no, he meant he's here today. When he texted me, he's like, "Where are you?" And I'm like, "Oh, you're here today." Shit, okay. when I got out of I said, "Hey, we're up in the Uncle Yo panel. It's over in 15 minutes," and I went down and I met up with him, and I got that. And just to give you the full effect, I will do this one. It's kind of cut off, but it's
nice. Oh, he has the brace throttle. Nice.
He has the brace throttle. He's got the belt buckle. He's got the custom made helmet that costs $400.
Of course he does.
The whole suit is $1,200 all total.
Of course it is.
So yeah, a lot of people took his picture. Came up and asked for pictures with him, so that was cool. So all that happened. And the other thing I should mention, by the way, this is really awesome. I love this. So I went up and saw Johnny Young Bosch.
Yes.
Oh, and by the way, just I think for the sake of saving paper, Johnny double sides his sheets. So
nice. Oh, Simon is going to be so jelly.
He double sided his cards for the sake of saving paper, and he could just sign whichever side people wanted. So
nice.
I did not actually. I did not actually notice that until way after the fact that I flip it over and realized. So, so anyway, I went Johnny Young Bosch. He signed the autograph. We were chit chatting, and that morning, Saturday, this morning, I had noticed on my phone that Johnny Young Bosch had sent out a tweet, and he said. And I'll talk more about this with you after the video. But he sent out a tweet and said, stay tuned. The new trailer number 2 for The Order drops on Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, those of you that don't know, a lot of former Power Ranger actors are getting together to make a kick-ass action movie called The Order. Check it out. You can find it on Indiegogo right now. It's going to be awesome.
Absolutely.
So he announced that this big new trailer for The Order was going to be released on Tuesday on Twitter. And so I went up to Johnny's panel. I talked to him. I shook his hand. We took a picture with him, like you saw. He signed my autograph. Mm-hmm. And one of the last things I said to him, I said, "Hey, I saw your tweet earlier. I can't wait to see that trailer. That's gonna be pretty cool. The movie looks awesome." And so, I said that to him, and he said, "Oh, thanks." And he goes, and he goes, "You want a sneak peek now? I've got it on my phone."
Nice.
So he pulled his phone out and he put the video up, and he had me walk to the other side of the booth so he could keep signing autographs. And I watched the video on the phone. It was amazing.
Nice. And this is like actual production, like this is actual shooting as opposed to the little mini trailer they did before.
Yeah, this is a full-on produced trailer. It's badass.
Nice.
Spoiler alert: Johnny's the villain.
I kind of had the feeling he was going to be, based on that mini trailer of him basically getting shot the fuck up, and then they left him. Like Austin St. John's are like, "See ya," and leaves. I had a feeling Johnny's character was going to be like, "Fuck you."
Yeah. So basically, I'll tell you more about that later, but I got to watch a trailer. He said I was only the second person outside the production crew that had seen it, because only one other person had asked about it earlier that day.
Nice.
So that was really cool. So I got to see that. So let's wrap this up here. I'm going to get through everything else. So I got the Johnny signing. I got, as I mentioned, because at that point, Malcolm was finally there. So I got Malcolm to sign the DVDs.
Nice.
That one. And up on top here, And this one, he signed it over here in the corner. So that was cool. Malcolm signed those. And then we went off to the voice acting for video games panel, which featured John Bailey, as well as a lot of the other voice actors that were there were on that panel.
Was Johnny Bosch there?
Johnny Bosch was not, because he was signing.
Oh, because he would have been one of the most prevalent ones there, because he's the voice and mocap actor for fucking Virgil.
Yeah, unfortunately. And I think one of the girls on the panel...
For, I can't remember the character name, but he's prolific in that stuff.
Yeah. But most of his stuff is anime, not a lot of video games. But
he does a fair amount of video games, too. He's the voice of Bumblebee.
Fair enough. But it was him. George Newbern was on that panel.
Yeah, Quantum Ranger is is Virgil. But yeah.
Okay. But but they because I actually heard when the people that were on the panel came in and lined up, I heard one of them ask one of the staff members, "Is Johnny coming?" And they were like, "No, he's signing."
Fair enough.
But they had John Bailey, they had George Newbern, they had Keith Silverstein was there, Brittany Landa, and I apologize, I can't remember the name of the other girl that was there.
Fair enough.
And I feel bad about that. But they were there, and slow panel to start, but it kind of started building up. And once they started talking, and people started asking questions, it got pretty good. It was pretty funny. Once again, John Bailey jumped on a running joke because Keith Silverstein, as he was listing his roles, mentioned several times that he played a role in Resident Evil, and so that became a running joke of people mentioning, "Brother, did you play that guy in Resident Evil?" So they did that a bunch of times. That was pretty funny.
Nice.
Just, crazy random things. Giving advice about voice acting, how to get into it, about their lives, how they got into it was really cool. At the end, somebody asked them to group sing the Oscar Mayer Wiener song in voices they wanted to use. It was the most random fucking thing, but it was amazing.
Nice. Did you record it?
I did not record that one.
Oh, you should have recorded at least the Oscar Mayer Wiener song.
I didn't. If I could have actually, Erica Mendez was the other voice actress in there. Sorry. Erica Mendez, best known as Ryoku Matoy in Kill La Kill, Aladdin in Magi: The Labyrinth of Magic, Yuki Kano in Sword Art Online 2, and Nico Yazawa in Love Live.
Fair enough.
Like I said, as a John Bailey, of course, XCOM and many other things. Keith Silverstein was there. A wide variety of voice acting in different things. So just generally a fun panel. Just very casual, very fun little panel. So that was nice. So we did that, and that was our last panel. And after that, we went to lunch at the Ted's Montana Grill, which is up the street from the convention center. Great restaurant. Check it out. They cut their own steaks and grinded their own beef fresh twice daily. And in addition to beef, one of their big picks is in place of anything that would normally be beef, steak, burger, whatever, you can get bison.
Okay, then. And
bison meat, according to the waitresses feel, is apparently much healthier for you. It's much better for you. And it tastes just as good as beef. I didn't try the bison anyway. I stuck with a beef burger, but my friend tried the bison. He said it was very good. So
fair enough.
Apparently it's much leaner, apparently. I don't know. But anyway, that was a nice restaurant. Go check it out. It's Ted's Montana Grill. It's right up the street. Good stuff. And then we piled in the car, and we came home, and I unpacked, and here I am. So that was my con adventure. Let me just picture. Did I have any pictures I wanted to show that I didn't show? I think I showed all the pictures. Let me just double check. No, it's like I got all the pictures I wanted to show.
Cool.
So
sounds like you had a lot of fun. You met a lot of interesting people. I'm so jealous. I want to meet Johnny Bosch.
Oh yeah, it was a lot of fun. Great times had by all. That con environment, like it's one of those things where I got home, I got home and everything, and I over the course of packing my stuff, my parents wanted to see the cool stuff I got and everything else. But like after that, I came up here and I was I got packed my stuff and thinking back to God, and I could barely function for like an hour. Because I was just like con. My mind was just and that almost like that they think it's called con depression because it's missing that such that positive enjoyable environment. You have to come back down from it, like withdrawal.
Well, you get a very very big high off of it's a very much a high off of stuff like that.
Yeah,
you
very
know,
much so.
with the adrenaline and everything, and just the environment and the people. And especially if you have a positive experience, you get a huge high, a huge thrill off of that. Especially if you've never done it before, too.
Yeah. So that was, yeah, it was just an amazing thing, and I recommend everybody going to a con if you can. Check it out. Find there's one for something. There'll be somebody there with something that you enjoy. You'll find something. If you can go to Connecticon, great con again next July. It'll be happening again. Maybe I'll see you there. But go check that con out. And this has been my spiel on Connecticon 2016. Marcus, thank you for joining me.
You're welcome.
I
It was fun.
apologize. I apologize for the length, everybody at home. If I get a chance tomorrow, maybe I'll throw some time codes in the description so people can find what they're looking for. And that's what I got. So, again, great con. Check out the con. I'm going to try to cosplay next year because I really felt like I was missing out on the cosplay.
Well, if you have the time and the resources to make a costume, go for it.
Yeah, I gotta figure out a way to do that. But at any rate, yeah. That was Connecticon. Like I said, I will try to somewhere on another channel. It's not this one. Get up the Nostalgia Critic panel. If not, keep an eye on Channel Awesome. A lot of the panels will be uploaded. And on Connecticon's website itself, they'll upload a lot of panels too. So check all that out. And we'll see you next time. Peace.
Bye.